Hey everybody, welcome to the 1804 show. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is episode 23. Yeah, it's going down. Just want to say, before you do anything, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Talking to my YouTube side. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. But yeah, we got a special guest, Miss Britany Harrel, to the spot, and we just gonna get it popping and everything. Pretty much the purpose of this topic tonight is you are allowed to tell your own story, regardless of who may be offended by it or whatever. But you have every right to your truth. And I just think a lot of people just need to be more blatant when it comes to that. Because we have this thing where we shame people for telling their truth. And everybody has a right to their own opinion. So let's get it started. But yeah, I'm just waiting on her to get in here. But again, I had so much fun with what I did on Saturday. It was cool. Many more speaking engagements to come. I don't know when the footage is going to happen, but I will be keeping y'all posted. But I had such a wonderful time and everything. But yeah, let me fix this camera real quick. Okay. Yeah, just waiting on her to get in here so we can get it started. If y'all wondering, this the mixtape that's coming out, so make sure y'all be expecting that. So I'm just excited for it. Got the most talented, best artists in Saginaw, Detroit, a little bit everywhere. So I can't wait. Mm. Sorry guys, I just checking it out. So I don't see an ad button yet, but it's gonna happen. But until then, I'm just gonna talk a little bit until Facebook let me add her. Of all nights, it's crazy. But we gonna figure it out. I'm talking to her now, so we trying to figure it out so we can get y'all a show. Sometimes it works and sometimes it don't. But just be patient to all my viewers and everything. So, see. Yeah, we gonna get her in here. So, because I've been waiting for this all day. So we gonna get her in here. Mm, yeah. Yeah, shout out to all my viewers tonight. Shouting everybody out. So shout out to Tiff. Hey Tiff, Miss Khadija. Shout out everybody who's viewing. But we gonna get her in here because I don't quit. So even if I gotta start this over, it's just gonna have to happen. But yeah, like I was saying, I just think that everybody just have a right to their story. Okay, I can get her in now.
Okay, there we go.
I know, finally.
I know. I don't know what was going on.
I have no idea either. Yeah, so what's up?
Nothing was going on with you.
Oh, nothing, just was waiting on this.
Okay.
Because I try to be professional, so I don't know what was going on, but Facebook be hating on me sometimes. So,
They was trying to ruin your show.
man, hey, they do that to charismatic people.
Right,
What can
right,
I say? But
right.
the people that be acting the fool, they get whatever they want.
They get through right away, don't they?
Absolutely. But yeah, um, welcome to the show, and
Thank you.
it is nice to finally get you on here because I've been trying to get you on here and stuff for a minute,
Right,
but timing is everything. So
right.
so how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just
Okay.
just working, hustling.
Okay. Like always.
Always, always. So, I don't know if you saw the topic, but pretty much
Right,
it's about everybody has a right to tell a story because
right,
that's black folks and everything like that. We have this
right,
thing where we couldn't really, express ourselves like that. A lot
right.
of things was what happens in the home stays in the home. And I just think that it would be nice that you and I can discuss some serious things.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, okay, let's get started. So, first question, what describes you and what something that no one knows about you?
Um, something that What describes me? I would probably say something that something that describes me is I'm unpredictable. You never know what you're gonna get with me.
No.
You might meet one Britany one day, and you might meet another Britany another day. It just depends on the interaction that we have with each other. Something that nobody knows about me is the fact that I'm a lot more of an introvert than what people know. Like, I'm very assertive and I, talk, but I'm not really as extrovert as I put out there. You know what I'm saying? I would much rather just kind of chill by myself and do my own thing rather than be around a bunch of people. But I'm always, super lively when I'm around a bunch of people, but I really don't like to be around people like that.
Okay, fair enough. I'm the same way. I'm always by myself because
Right.
really a lot of people don't really understand energy is real. So
Right.
it just, you have to tolerate so many different energies unless you're
Right.
the type of personality, because everybody isn't an empath like me. So
Right.
I just not outgoing. I used to be, but I think it's just like when we get older, we
Right.
appreciate small things.
Right.
And I'm like that now. Things that I didn't appreciate before, I look at it in a different light and be like,
Right.
okay, I can be by myself and enjoy myself,
Right.
because I learned to be my own best friend. So,
Right. That's important. You gotta learn how to love yourself before you can allow other people to love. You know what I'm saying? Before you can love anybody else. Like, being able to be happy alone is probably one of, like, the biggest achievements in life, because a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people always need to be in the presence of somebody else in order for them to be happy. So when you can be by yourself and be completely content without anybody around, that's pretty much that's the way that this should be.
yeah, absolutely. I agree. And so, question two.
Okay.
So what was your upbringing like?
Well, I'm the oldest of five. My mom was a single mom. Very For anybody who knows my mother, she's very educational driven. So when we were younger, going to school, going to college, making good grades, all that stuff was like the way that I was raised. I said I had a pretty good childhood. Like, I mean, I knew you as a kid. Like, I'm a little bit older than you, but we grew up together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, it was just like, I can say that I enjoyed my childhood. Like, being an older kid sometimes was kind of rough because, as the older kid and you're in a single mother household, you kind of have to pick up the slack a little bit and kind of help out a little bit more than you would want to. But with that, it made me a better parent because I learned how to, kind of migrate around kids and do, like, kind of like grown up things when I was younger. So when I became a parent, it's like, okay, I kind of already got an idea of what I'm doing because I kind of helped with raising everybody else while my mom worked and went to school. So,
Yeah, so you probably took a lot of whoopings too, huh?
you know what? I actually did not get a lot of whoopings as a kid. Um, I had a smart mouth, which I still have to this day, but I really didn't get it. I didn't get in trouble a lot. You know what I'm saying? I just was kind of, if I did something, it was something big. Like, it wasn't like a bunch of small stuff. Like, if I'm going to do something, I'm just going to do something where I can just get, like, my ass whooped. It's not going to be like little minor stuff. So when I did do stuff, it was every now and then, but it was always something where it's like, okay, I deserved it. Like, I should have got my ass whooped.
Okay, that makes sense. I pretty much was the youngest, so
Right.
I pretty much did a lot of stuff that my sister had to take the whoopings for, because I
Right.
was just, so harmless and stuff, like in my
Right.
mom's perception. And if
You probably didn't do anything because I'm like that about my son, DJ. I mean, not to say that my older son gets any more whoopings because I don't really whoop either one of them. I'm not the whooping type. But I do feel like when the youngest one, even though you probably raised the most hell because you were the youngest, it was probably like swept under the rug a little bit because you were the young one, you were the cute one. So it's like,
Yeah.
But I really didn't take whoopings for my siblings though. Like I let them have their own whoopings.
Yeah, I was just mischievous. I won't say I was bad,
Right.
but I was just. I remember one time I was in the living room and I saw these matches. So,
Uh-oh.
so I didn't know
Uh-oh.
about fire or nothing like that. So
Right.
I kind of set the couch on fire, and
You set the couch on
yeah, I
fire.
don't remember how I did it. I was like at least 5 or 6 at the time. I don't remember how I did it,
Right.
but I just remember screaming on the top of my lungs. My mom come out of her room,
Right.
and she like, "Oh my God!" and everything. And fire department came, ambulance came.
Now, did you get your ass whooped for setting the couch on fire?
Be honest with you, I don't really remember what happened
Okay.
afterwards. I probably did, so it probably was one of those good whoopings that you don't recall the
Right.
aftermath. But
You blanked it out because it was that bad.
oh yeah,
You had to blank the
oh
whooping
yeah,
out.
like my last name should have been Jackson after that. So that's how bad it was. But um, it just really gave me confirmation of just consequences
Right.
and being afraid of doing certain things
Right.
that I shouldn't be doing in the first place. But
Right. Right.
it's just when we're young, um, we really don't think about long term stuff. We just living for the
Right.
moment. And
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
yeah,
A lot of adults are like that too. So some people never outgrow that. They never outgrow the living for the moment.
oh, I had to. Like even though I was like the youngest, I had to grow up a lot
Right.
faster.
Right.
And because I have to grow up a lot faster, there's a lot of things that I missed out on.
Right.
And I had to be the man of the house. And I just think that,
Right.
well, for you having 2 sons,
Right.
I see a lot of women just say that, that's my little man and that's my
Right.
boo and this and that. And
Right.
to,
But that's not a healthy dynamic though. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that when you're a mother, especially of boys, you have to really be conscious of the things you say and conscious of the way that you raise them, because I'm a woman, so obviously I don't know how to raise a man to be a man, but there are a lot of things that I can do to, like as far as like babying my kids, or like, I feel like sometimes women get into these, especially single moms, get into these situations where they kind of feel like they kind of treat their sons like not in a weird relationship, but like kind of, what I'm saying, like they don't know how to, what am I trying to say? They treat their sons like a spouse, especially when you get older. You know what I'm saying? Like when you grow up, like you have your own wife, you have your own family, you have your own kids. There are your own things you have to deal with. But sometimes as moms, especially single moms, they don't know how to let go of that aspect of their son. So they put a lot of pressure on their son to like take care of a household, or to like, take care of them, when it's really not their responsibility to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never going to be my son's responsibility to take care of me when I get older if they don't want to. It's never I don't feel like I should come first before my son's wife, you know what I'm saying, or my son's girlfriend. But sometimes when moms raise sons, I see even posts on Facebook when people ask the question, who comes first, the daughter, the wife, the mom. There are a lot of men that say they mom come, even the mom comes, even before the wife, even before the girlfriend, because they were raised in environments where they didn't have a dad or didn't have a male figure, so they feel like that's the way it's supposed to go, and it's not. So I feel like as women calling our sons, boo and babe and, all this stuff, and, I feel like we have to really be conscious of putting those things out there in the atmosphere, because those little boys grow up to be men, and then they, what I'm saying, and then it's just all, all type of weird, not, like I said, nothing sexual. It's just the fact that when you're raising sons, I'm raising 2 boys. I have help, but I'm raising 2 sons, but I'm raising somebody's dad, somebody's husband. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I really have to watch what I install in them, because I don't want to mess them up for the person they end up being with, because they're so focused on the fact that this is my mom and I have to do this for my mom, that they can't even be good men to the women that they're with, if you understand what I'm saying.
yeah, Yeah, it's just us as men, we don't get those questions. We get
Right,
ridiculed a lot because they
right,
never ask us how we feel about certain things.
right,
And um, a lot of people feel like because I only stick to my race of women, they feel like I'm
right,
racist or I have a problem. And it's
right,
not that. It's just I
right,
love everybody. But
right. I feel like if you want to, it's okay to have a preference on what you like. You know what I'm saying? Like I like men with beards. And not to say I would never date nobody without a beard, but somebody with a beard attracts me. If you like short women, tall women, light skinned women, white women, whatever you like is it's preference. Like I don't think it's anything that anybody should take personally. It's one thing for you to like a specific race of women and then like down black women, but if you're not doing that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you liking whoever you want to like. Like whoever you want to like, you can like that part. Like don't let nobody make you feel like you don't have to date black if you don't want to. Like that's not a you don't have it's not in a rule, but you don't have to. You can talk to whoever you want to talk to. It's anybody got a problem with it, that's their own fault.
yeah, and it's just like I never really, you know, categorize everybody because I haven't met
Right,
everybody. And I just think that us as people, we try to put everybody under the spectrum, which
right.
you got to meet everybody. And
Mm-hmm.
I have met, well, I can say just from my personal experiences, like it's all about character. It's not
Right,
color, it's not how you dress, it's not this and that. Because I learned just to not to judge a book by its cover. But a
right,
lot of people just be very shocked about me because they just has this thing
right,
where I have my my swag and my personality, but also I
right,
have brains. I have book smarts, I have street smarts.
right.
So I have pretty much a whole lot of best of both
You're
worlds.
a well-rounded person. You're a well-rounded. You can adapt into any environment. Is what it sounds like.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even when I was outside, because a lot
Right,
of these dudes and stuff who claim that they, thugs and this and that, they weren't
right,
outside when I was outside.
right,
But when you've been outside and you've seen things, you just realize like how life is so precious and you don't want to be
right,
involved in that type of
right,
stuff. Because unfortunately, I was happy that I didn't have to go to jail. I didn't have to get shot
right,
for
right,
me to wake up.
right,
And I just been on the try to stay on the clear path. So that's why I
right.
be very cautious about my circle and my
And you have to.
cult.
You
Yeah.
can't be everywhere with everybody.
Hmm.
It's not a good. It's not a safe thing. It's not a. I mean, every time I turn around, it's like something's happening. You know what I'm saying to somebody somewhere. Around here, like people our age. I feel like people our age are dying just as fast as people who are older. You know what I'm saying? Who are actually dying. So it's like every day you wake up, it could be your last day. So you really have to, I mean, not to say anything can happen to you at any point in time, but keeping yourself out of situations where it can possibly happen to you and it doesn't have to is really important. So like watching the people you hang around with, watching the places you go, not being everywhere, not going to everything. That's the kind of the way that you keep yourself, safe, because people crazy out here. This generation of people is nuts. Like you won't ever really see me too many places. Most of the time when I go places, people ask me if I'm even from here because they've never seen me. Because I try to stay out of, I try to stay out of I'm never, anywhere that everybody's going, I don't want to go. Because I always feel like something's going to happen. And 9 times out of 10, it does. So I get you. I don't go, I don't do nothing.
Yeah, I don't either. Um, it's just I just try to be very I won't say cautious, I would say
Right,
responsible.
right,
Because it's just now when you realize that you have somebody or people that depends on you, you just
right,
want to make sure that you're around.
right.
And like I said, there's still car accidents, there's still illness
Yeah,
and
there
all
are.
this other
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, of course. But anytime you can, if it's a situation that you can kind of prevent putting yourself into something, then it's not to say to never do anything, but I feel like anytime I decide to go somewhere or do something, number one, I have to think about the fact that I have kids and I need to get back to my kids. And number two, anytime I feel like something's going to go bad, I feel like you kind of feel it. You know, I'm not gonna say it's like a, you know, like a little, like my grandma used to say, a little voice in your head. Like you always have like a weird feeling about something before you get ready to go. So you have to pay attention to the feelings, because every time that I'm like, I'm gonna go out and I'm like, I really ain't feeling it, it's something always happens. So it's like you got to pay attention to that, you know, to that intuition that you get when, you know, you about to do something that you probably shouldn't do or go somewhere that it might not be safe.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. And I'll say,
But I have a question for you
okay,
though.
I'm listening.
You know, I know like when you were younger, you know, I knew everything you had going on, you know. And you know, I have a son and he's 8, and my 8-year-old son is on the spectrum. And I know that when you were younger, you were on the spectrum too. Like you were very open about that. So how did you get to the point you are now? Like, what did you like? What things should I do for my son to make sure that he's like, you know what I'm saying? Just I don't ever make him feel like him being on the spectrum like is a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? I kind of make him tell him like, well, when he brings it up or when he hears about it, because obviously he knows something is there. Because you know he goes to, you know, to classes and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And I kind of tell him it's like a superpower, but I want to know, like, as a mom dealing with a kid, because you're an adult person and you're doing great for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You didn't let anything hold you back. So what should I do as a mom of a kid that's on the spectrum to prepare him to be like how you are? Like, what type of things do you think would have been, even if you got it as a kid or not? What was helpful for you to be able to be a high functioning adult? Like, what should I do?
Excuse me. um, to be honest with you, I just have believed in myself. It
Right.
really wasn't like um any like teaching method or just somebody, you know, sitting with me and working with me or going to workshops and
Right.
anything like that.
Right.
But I just wanted something better.
Right.
And I wanted to self-educate myself because I knew
Right.
that I was being kind of robbed because, you know, society like to put labels on us, majority.
Right.
And
Right.
and I just think that, you know, we too flawed to be trying to tell somebody else's flaws or weaknesses, because we all have weaknesses, we all have flaws, we all
Right.
have, you know, things that we're not as gifted, you know, amongst each other. But
Right.
I just pretty much wanted it so bad. I just wanted a chance to just change my life. And
Right.
I just stayed in the books. I just, you know, applied myself. And it's
Right.
just, everybody's different because people just, you know, they fear what they don't understand.
Right.
And since they don't understand it, they're going to, you know, treat it as if it's a handicap, which is not.
Right.
And
Right. It's not,
no.
because I feel like I tell people all the time, because I have, you know, I'm very vocal about the fact that my son is on the spectrum. And I've had friends and family members all reach out to me because in the beginning, when you first found out about it as a parent, you almost feel like maybe it's something that you could have did differently that could have prevented it, but it's not. It's just what it is. And after I got over the fact that it actually wasn't like a disability, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, I started to research, you know, like for example, when you're dealing with a kid and the kid has like autism on the spectrum, they get really upset, you know what I'm saying, about stuff and like freak out. They might cry, they might get upset. And as a parent, your first initial reaction is to just be like, okay, I'm gonna beat your ass because why you acting like this. But I had to learn, like,
Yeah.
I have to like get down on his level face to face and talk to him and like find out like what the issue is. You know, like I had to check myself as a parent. And you know, it's just crazy how, like I said, I've been knowing you since you was little. You've always been smart, always smiled all the time. That's all I remember as a kid. You smiled all the time. And it's like just to see you go from, you know, it just amazes me. And I remember you brought me my food when I had my second son. You delivered me my
Oh
food to
my
my
God,
room.
yeah.
And we were talking. And I was just like, I told you in the hospital, I was looking a hot mess because I just had a baby. I was like, I remember you from when you was young, and to see you from being a kid to now, like I just kind of felt like. And then that son that you saw me with is the son that actually is on the spectrum. That's who I'm talking about, my
Okay.
baby, my youngest. So just to see you go from how he is now to you, I'm like, damn, he gonna be all right. Like, and you probably don't even know people pay attention, you know what I'm saying, to that. Like, you are very vocal about how you raised, you're very vocal about autism, you're very vocal about everything. So just to see somebody like you go from, you know, and like I said, it was never bad when you were a kid. You just and I didn't even know, you know, anything, you know, until you got older and you let it be known what was going on, you know. So, but just to see you go from that to there, I'm just like, man, it's actually hope for every kid. Because, you know, when people find out that kids are on the spectrum, they kind of try to down, you know, I mean, not to say that anything is wrong with them, but people actually treat it like a disability, and it's not a disability. It just makes them different than other kids, you know?
Yeah.
So I commend the hell out of you for actually, like, pretty much proving everybody wrong on all spaces across the board. You've completely just, everything that, you know, that they say you're not supposed to do, you've done. So I feel like that's dope as hell. Like, I feel like you are an example of what it's like to, I don't care what these people say about me. I'm gonna do what I want. I think that's dope. I think it's dope as hell for you to be like that.
Oh yeah, I come from tough stock. You know,
Right.
like I said, I was raised by a single mom. You know, my dad was on drugs, but it was
Right.
my grandfather who was like the hardest working man I've ever met, because he owned
Right.
the Browns Fish Market on James
Okay.
25 years ago. So I used to work with him every Saturday, Sunday, like sweep up and this and that. But it was really like my grandfather when I first met him, because he passed away when I was 11, but I got a chance to know him
Okay.
for 4 years. But
Right.
he just always gave me that encouragement that I could just be what I wanted to be. And I never
Right.
forgot about that. And I just always tell people that you always going to have somebody that's going to doubt you or who's going to
Right.
count you out. And the underdogs winning. You know, the underdogs has the
Right.
best stories, because you
Yeah.
got to know struggle in order for you to enjoy success.
Right.
And just for me doing like my platform for 8.5 months now, I have really changed a lot of lives. I really have impacted a
Right.
lot of people's lives, because to be honest with you, I really didn't see myself doing this or had any experience and stuff like that.
Right.
I just always been like, when I set my mind at something, I do it and I go hard at it. And
Right.
I want everybody to see it. So I just can't sit down. I can't be lazy. I can't just let everybody who has ever shunned me win. And
Right.
it's not just
Right.
really about them, but it's about me, you
Right.
know, at the end of the day. But yeah, to answer your question, um, I would just say, just, you know, keep your hands on them
Right.
and just give them that encouragement, because
Right.
everybody needs a support system.
Yeah, they do.
Hmm.
Everybody deserves a support system, especially kids.
Yeah.
Wow. So have you ever thought about, like, mentoring or, like, doing anything like that? Like, with you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because I have a lot of parents that I'm cool with, and we all have kids that are all on different spectrums. Some have Asperger's, some are low functioning, some are high functioning, and we actually get our kids together because all the kids are the same. So we get our kids, like, together and go on play dates with kids that are alike, just because, you know, sometimes you like to talk a lot, you're super friendly, everybody's not like that. So we actually like get together, not really too much now because COVID, but before COVID, we would do like a lot of play dates. I would do other play dates with other kids that were also on the spectrum, so that my son can see that, like, he's not, you know what I'm saying, different. But I felt like with you, if you were to, you know, when I say when COVID dies down, just like, I feel like you'd be dope. It's like a mentor, or, you know what I'm saying, just somebody that, like, you know, even have like a podcast where you talk to parents of kids that grew up how you grew up, you know what I'm saying, to give them advice. I feel like you should do something like that. So I feel like you'd be good at that. Just because you are the poster child for somebody that was like, I don't care what the hell these people say about me, I'm gonna make it. No, a lot of people can't do that.
No, it takes it just takes a strong will. Since my name's Will, you know.
Yeah.
uh, but but yeah, like I said, it's just I would say that I have mentored kids.
Okay.
Um, I used to be with the Power of Dad organization in Saginaw.
Okay.
Did like a whole lot of volunteer work,
Right.
and I just take a lot of young kids. You know what I'm saying? When I see them outside my apartment, I sit down, I talk to them, and give them a book and this and that, and they be looking at me like I'm crazy,
Right.
like, man, I ain't reading that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But they
Right.
read it.
I know.
But they read it.
Because you probably did the same thing. Somebody gave you the book when you was 10. You like, ain't no pictures in this book. I don't want this.
No, but I won't say that I was like a rebellious teenager or young person. If anything, I was just trying to find my identity, find myself, because it's just really important, especially when you grew up around women, and then when you're,
Facts.
coming of age, shoot, puberty gonna come whether you want it or not. So,
And that's scary as hell for me. I'm just like, my son is 11, my oldest son, and I call his daddy every other day. Like, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what is happening here? Like, what am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he wears men's clothes, and I'm just like, okay, what's next? Like, I mean, when do you date? What is going? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know what's going on.
and I just think that it's really become a problem when the son, grows into a teenager, because usually sons gravitate to their mothers. They get hugs and
Right.
kisses, majority like
Right.
limited every day. And then when they become a
Right.
teenager, all that stops. You know,
Right. They do. Yeah, they do. They get really distant. They wear sweatshirts when it's 90 degrees outside. Just all type of weird stuff just starts. I'm just like, well, it's hot. Why do you have on a Nike hoodie? It's hot. Like, and then I see other parents post about it. I'm like, is this like a teenage thing? Like, I don't. It's what the hell is going on with the sweatshirts? What is that about? Like, is this a thing? What's up with the basketball shorts in the snow with the sandals? Like, what is this? Like, it's always. I don't know. I don't. It's crazy
yeah,
to
I
me.
don't know either. I'm very clueless about that myself. And man, it just when you really realize Father Time is real,
Hmm.
it just makes you don't want to ever waste time. It
Right.
makes you cherish your time. It makes you um, wants to put in the work every day. Like there's no
Right.
day off on
Right.
progress. And
Right.
so many people just really can't keep up with me, or because I'm always busy, but I make
Right.
time for who I want to make time for. But
Right.
I just tell people like, because I was going to school, I was working, I was doing this, and I was working my other job and stuff like that. So I was always busy. I was just always trying
Right.
to stay productive and stuff.
Right.
Because I do believe that, you get back what you dish out and everything.
Right.
So, but enough about me. I want to talk about you. I want to dig into your brain a little bit.
Okay.
So, how your views on relationships and stuff? Since I always see you, post about it.
My views on relationships. Well, honestly, I feel like this day and age, dating, nobody really takes it seriously. I feel like we live in an age of sneaky links is a thing. Um, Dating people that already are in relationships is a thing. Um, Having a balance between multiple people is a thing. So, and when it comes to dating, I honestly don't know how to date. Like, I was just having this conversation with somebody earlier today. I see a lot of posts and people say, oh, date them all, and then whoever wins is who you pick. And I get that. But I just cannot date them all, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have never been comfortable with just like dating a bunch of different people. I just can't do it. I don't know why I can't. So when it comes to dating, I really feel like people just really don't take it seriously anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people deal with you when it's convenient for them to deal with you, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's this generation of dating. But a long time ago, people would get into it, and then they would like sleep on it and it'd be done. But now, this day and age, you get into it with somebody and y'all fall out or have an argument, and before you can even fix the argument, they like on to the next person. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I really have a hard time with dating and relationships because I feel like I'm too much. I feel like I am the type of person that puts in a lot more into most situations than I get out of situations. So I'm to the point now where I'm just kind of burned out from it all together, and I just don't even want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's to the point where you don't even want to even deal with it anymore, because I'm like, okay, I gave all I feel like I can give. Now I'm tired. Like, what is the end result of this? Like, you put time and energy and money and stuff into people, and then it's okay for a couple months, and it just fall apart. And it's like, okay, I completely just wasted my time. Like, I don't care about the money. You can never get your time back. So with dating, I just kind of feel like this generation is just, it's a joke with people our age. Like, it's honestly a joke. And I know it's a joke because most women I talk to in my age group, when we have conversations about dating, everybody has the same exact stories when it comes to dating. So it's like, you know what? I'm actually at a point in my life where I don't even know if I ever want to be in a relationship ever again, just because I just kind of feel like I would much rather take that time and invest it into myself, invest it into my kids. My kids are getting older. At some point in time, they're not even going to want to be around me. They're going to do their own thing. So I just kind of feel like the Lord himself will probably have to come down here and tell me this is the one before I just let it all out. You know what I'm saying? And just, because I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. You know, I agree with everything that you just said. I would say, just from my perspective, I always wanted to be a one-woman man.
Right.
And then it takes that moment when you get hurt, and then your expectations that you had before is no longer there. So you have to adjust. Right. You have to, I would say, accept reality. Because I just think that, you know, those cartoons that we used to watch really lied to us. Because, you know, there's no such thing as a Prince Charming. There's no such thing as a Cinderella.
Right. It's not.
But it's just people rather try to change you to their liking. And I am unchangeable because of the fact that I had to survive, you know, in a way that was my best fit. But like I said, I'm loving, I'm caring, I'm responsible, I'm dependable, hardworking, this and that. But I'm not perfect, you know, and nobody's perfect. And I just think that we expect perfection out of a non-perfect human being. Mm-hmm. And shoot, even Martin Luther King, like, you know, greatest civil rights leader of all time, like, he had his
he did. he got
his groove on.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, he had side chicks? Okay.
Yeah, so it's just like, I just think that while on the surface that people just expect something that doesn't exist. But I just think that people break up for stupid things and stupid reasons. Mm-hmm. And because I feel like if you really love a person, anything can get worked out. And I just think that we listen to our friends who's single and our friends that's bitter more than the people that stay together for a long time or has longevity. Because when I dating somebody or in a relationship with somebody, I ask a married couple, you know, I ask a married man, and I ask them, so, you know, here's my situation, what would you do? And, you know, how did you was able to manage and carry on and stuff? And, you know, they give me advice, you know, And I just think that, everybody wants to be right and nobody wants to say, I'm sorry or apologize or just let it
It's
go.
hard. It's hard to do. It's hard to admit you was wrong. Sometimes people be a rather. No, I'm okay. Well, you know what? We ain't got to talk no more because I don't want to be wrong. And that's childish, and it's petty. But I mean, we just all that's just the way that it is sometimes. Like, I feel like social media is probably terrible for relationships. Um, because you always have other people at your disposal. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be a strong-willed person to be in a relationship. Have people coming at you through Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, and then be able to like shut every person down because you're in a relationship with a person. Like, everybody doesn't have the ability to be able to do that. Every woman and man though, because the right person inbox you, like, I've been trying to talk to you or I'm interested in you, even in a relationship. Some people can't be like, no, I'm happy. No, I don't want to do my girl. No, I don't want to do my. Some people can't handle it. Me personally, I feel like when I'm in a relationship and a person jumps into my inbox, knowing I'm in a relationship with somebody and tries to talk to me, I feel like they have some type of weird vendetta against the person I'm dealing with. Because if you see I'm out here with this person, this is my boyfriend, we're in a relationship, what other purpose would you have from coming at me when this is my man? Other than the fact that you want to hurt. I don't really feel like it's about me. I feel like it must be something they have against the person I'm dealing with. Because a man loves to be able to go around and say, he's so happy with her, but I'm sleeping with her. He don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people be having undermined things going on when they do that. So, but like I said, social media, I feel like is horrible when it comes for relationships because there's so many other people that just like a click away at your disposal. And everybody can't cannot indulge in that. Some people, you might be able to say no for a while, but after a while, I feel like, especially with dudes, if you constantly got females throwing it out there, I feel like the right one come in, you definitely gonna catch it. But I honestly don't think that people take the time out to think about how the decisions they make in a relationship hurts the person. Because I know people personally who have gotten hurt in relationships and they've never gotten to another relationship again because they never wanted to feel that. So in a relationship, it's important for you to think about how you would feel if the person did that to you. Like, if you would love somebody, I feel like, why would you do anything to hurt somebody that you love? I don't get it. Like, but I mean, some people justify it. Oh, it's just sex. Oh, it's just, but no, if you love a person, why would you want to put them in a position for them to be hurt by you? But our generation, they don't care. It's all about everybody's for self, even in relationships. 99% of the time, I feel like when I deal with people, I'm important to an extent, but at the end of the day, what is best for them is what they go with, and that's fine. That's why I'm by myself because I don't have time for that. It's okay. I just choose not to deal with it.
Oh yeah, and then the young people too. They think toxicity is love, and
Yeah, it's the thing. Yeah, like that's supposed to be like the end thing. Like, this man cussed me out. We argue all the time. We beat each other up. We in love. It's like, what the? No.
no
It's not supposed to be like that. You're not supposed to be. No.
shit.
But being toxic is like is the end thing to be though. Like, oh, you toxic. Oh, that's great. Like, no, it's not great. I'm even guilty of being toxic at times. But that's not a good thing. I shouldn't be that way.
No, I mean everybody has toxic traits. It's just how.
It shouldn't be glorified
No,
though, because it's not. There's nothing to be glorified.
no, because even me, like I shut down. Like when I'm frustrated, I
Right.
just shut down
Right.
and I don't talk. But
I do that too. I'm the same way. I'll just
I get
like,
that
you
from
know
my
what?
daddy.
I'm done. I just don't have any. But that's not a good thing though, because you have to be able to communicate. But it's also important to learn your partner. Because if you date somebody and you're a type person that shuts down, you might just need that time to just kind of like collect your thoughts and evaluate the situation. It's not like you don't want to talk. It's just the fact that you need to take time to yourself to isolate yourself to be able to analyze the situation, to be able to come back to, come up with a conclusion. If you deal with somebody and y'all get in arguments and they leave, they might necessarily not be leaving to avoid you. They could just be leaving because they need that time alone to be. Because sometimes when I'm upset about something, I'll flip out about it like right off bat because I'm just a firecracker. And then I'll think about it later, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? But like, everybody's different. Like how you shut down. So I feel like I should shut down sometimes. I don't shut down. I'm on 10. You make me mad, you gonna know. You know, some women are like, oh, nothing's wrong with me. No, something's wrong with me. I have to let it be known what's wrong with me. But I feel like I could tone it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm dealing with somebody like you, that's more of a shut down person, I would probably have to adapt and learn how to, okay, let me let him, you know what I'm saying? Because it's never, if I'm a yeller and you're quiet, I'm gonna be pissed because I'm gonna think that you're not listening to what I'm saying because you're not saying anything. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it's kind of like you have to learn who you're dealing with in order to know how to deal with the person, pretty much.
Yes, I agree. And my thing is people just need to learn how to just take L's, you know, take their losses
Right.
in silence. Because even with me, when I was in my toxic relationship and when I was, you know, getting my hands put on and, you know, and having to fight back and everything like that, I never
Right.
told anybody who she
Right.
was. I never
Right.
showed any of the injuries because
Right.
I pretty much almost had my nose broke and
Yeah.
everything. And I was going to work like with scratches on my face and a whole bunch of stuff. But
Right.
it just took for me to realize that I deserve better. But some people,
Right.
you know, seen that as a child and just thought, well, this is normal, this is love, and this and
Right.
that.
Some people do, but and see, I'm just the opposite. When I had my situation, when I got hands put on me, I didn't really talk about who did it. People who knew, but I was very vocal about it. You know what I'm saying? I was on Facebook with black eyes and all type of stuff because a lot of times women associate a man beating your ass with him loving you. But if somebody love you, they're not gonna do you like
No,
that. Like that's why I don't. That's why I don't. When I started analyzing it, I don't whoop my kids. And it's not that kids don't need their ass whooped. I just don't want my kids to feel like, you know what I'm saying, me beating their ass all the time is like how you supposed to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I would much rather take something away, you know what I'm saying, from my kid rather than put my hands on them. Because I feel like me taking away a phone or an Xbox will be more, you know what I'm saying, more
oh
detrimental
yeah,
to them
hell
than me
yeah.
beating their ass. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to women in relationships, I just kind of feel like a lot of times women think that that's love, you know. So when that happened to me, I was very vocal about it because somebody needed to hear that's not okay. Like a man punch you on your damn face, that's not okay. A man talk to you any kind of way, yelling you, that's not okay. Somebody snatch you up, somebody pull up on you at a club and start an argument with you in front of everybody. That's not okay. But as women, sometimes we are programmed to believe that when a man is crazy for you, that he loves you. I don't want nobody to be that crazy over me that they feel like they gotta, you know what I'm saying, put their hands on me or snatch me up or push me. But women tend to feel like sometimes when a man is doing that, that's love, you know, and it's not. So I understand your point of view. I was the opposite though. I let I feel like I'm a fairly, you know, well-known person. So it was crazy to me how many women reached out to me after I went public about what happened to me. It was like, oh my God, that happened to me. But I didn't want to say anything, but I was scared to say something, but I was scared to report. No, it's not okay for somebody to put their hands on you. And with a man, I feel like it's even worse for you guys because for some reason society has made it okay. It's not as frowned upon your girl doing what she did to you as the man doing what he did to me. And that's not right because I feel like nobody should put their hands on anybody.
No,
You know what I'm saying? Like even you being a man, a woman shouldn't feel like she could, because if you was to haul off and punch her ass back, now you in the wrong. So you shouldn't have had to deal with that. So I feel like it's a little bit more, it's like swept under the rug when it comes to y'all. And how do you come out and tell somebody, oh, every time I turn around, this girl putting her hands on me? Like people gonna look at you like you crazy, like why you ain't doing nothing back to her. But if you raise a certain way, you're not gonna want to punch her back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy how, you know what I'm saying, it's two totally different things. A man hitting a woman is horrible, but a woman hitting you is not. That's not right. Like it's not fair to you. Like you should have never had to deal with that. Like she was wrong as hell for that.
and it's crazy because like I told that story at the Battle of the Sexes on
Right,
Saturday. Man, my mom, she had no idea, like, cause I kind of kept it to myself because I was embarrassed. It wasn't that
right,
I was embarrassed because she was doing it. I was embarrassed because I allowed it to happen so much
right,
because I was alone, you know,
right,
because it was like a lot of shit going on. And then I met her and one of my brother's anniversaries and stuff. So I was
Right.
vulnerable, and I think
Right.
we allow just a lot of bullshit happen because we're vulnerable. We don't want to be alone,
Yeah.
and that's dangerous. And
Uh-huh.
people really need to
It's
understand.
both very
Yeah,
dangerous. That's very dangerous because you let the wrong people in. Because I feel like sometimes people can smell that.
yeah, they play.
Like they can sense like, oh, this something okay, and then they know that you pretty much gonna put up with whatever because you don't want to lose them. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Like I've been there, to the point where you deal with somebody and you knew it wasn't necessarily. It was just a time when you just didn't want. I feel like loneliness brings out the worst in us sometimes, especially when it comes to picking a partner, because you just like, I know this woman is nuts, this man is nuts, but I really don't want to be by myself right now, so I'm just gonna put up with it in hopes that it might change, but it really probably never will.
Mm-hmm.
They are who they are, and either you gonna deal with it or you gonna leave them alone. Which it sounds like you finally left her alone. Thank God. So, but it's like you should have never had to deal with any of that stuff. And for you to be a nice person to know you going through something, why would you want to put a person through more if you already know they having a hard time? Like that's what I'm talking about. People are selfish as hell. Like they just don't take the time out to think about other people when they do stuff that they do, and that's unfair. That was totally unfair to you to have to go through that.
Uh, well, I feel like it was a wake up call for me
Right.
because things happen to get our attention, and I
Right.
just think that I let a lot of shit slide, and then when I met
Right.
her, I don't let shit slide after that. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like,
So it was like a blessing and a curse
yeah.
because she kind of taught you to okay, but then also you probably know you recognize red flags in other women
Mm-hmm.
when it comes because you it sounds like you dated a whole fucking flag. So now you recognize the smaller flags in other people because she was the flag, like the whole thing was a flag, like big ass white flag.
Yeah, yeah.
But you probably like I'm not dealing with that.
Oh no.
You have what do we call it? I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday, like relationship PTSD, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
PTSD from relationships, like first sign of you're like, no, this anything somebody does that remotely resembles the last thing you dealt with, you like, oh no, I'm out. And it could be something small, but you just so messed up from the last situation. You're like, I'm out, I'm good. I don't even want to give it a chance because I don't even want to go through anything similar to that ever again.
Oh yeah. Like I tell I tell my friends this all the time is that you're responsible for your healing. You're responsible for your journey,
Right,
and I forgive her. You know, I realized that it was more needed that we both cross paths because our lives are already written. Whether
right,
we like to believe that or not, or try to avoid things, but things is gonna happen because that's just part of destiny.
right,
And I was just grateful because I was able to do a lot of research on narcissism and toxicity and
right,
all that stuff, you know. So I know the signs, I know the patterns, the traits, and everything like
right.
that.
Oh, dating a narcissist is that's hell.
That's like dating the devil, man.
God.
And these people are demons.
Yeah, that you got it. But you know what though? I didn't really understand what a narcissist was until like I really started like being on TikTok a lot because I kind of had an idea, but then I follow a lot of people who do sketches about it, and you really just when you're dealing with a narcissist, you just really just gotta ignore their ass. Like they pretty much feed off attention, that tit for tat type of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
once you like just start ignoring their ass and just start like not going back and forth with with the bullshit, then you don't really you kind of like can't they kind of like slowly die off on their own because they need that interaction. They need you to be irritated in order to like feed off of that. So once you be like, okay, I'm not okay, like you have to hit them with the okay all the time. Oh, you did I feel like okay. Oh, okay, just say okay to everything, and then they're slowly, like I said, they start to like die off, kind of like similar to when the sunlight starts to like shine in on a vampire. They start to slowly die. That's how you slowly kill a narcissistic relationship. You just kind of have to know how to beat them at their own game and just don't pay them no attention. And then they don't have anything to feed off of, because they get the strength off of irritating the hell out of you, pretty much. Like oh, you kind of, oh, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore. Then they like, oh, I'm sorry, I miss you, blah blah, and they reel you back in, and they, you know what I'm saying? It's like a cat and mouse type
Yeah.
of game when you're dealing with a narcissist, and nobody has time for that stuff. You just have to just be like, I'm good.
Oh yeah. And like I said, I was very fortunate that I left unscathed. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
because dealing with those type of people, like they could kill you. Well,
Yeah.
first they will, try to assassinate your character and have
Right.
everybody turn against you. And then if that don't
Mm-hmm.
work, they would kill you. So
Right.
after everything that I have went through, I ain't even gonna say it because I want to incriminate myself, but let's just say
Right.
that it won't be no easy win. So,
Right. Right.
but
Never again, huh?
no.
That's how you gonna knock a bitch.
Okay. I got this story, right? So
You should have called me. You should have called me because I would have beat her up. You should have just been like, hey, I need you, hey. SOS.
Okay. So the last time that we got into a fight, well, I had grabbed her because she was just tripping
Right.
and stuff. She threw my phone and all types of stuff. So I grabbed her, I put her to the kitchen, and I told her, like, you got one more time, and I'm not playing with you, to put your hands on me. I'm going to knock your ass out. And she was like, I wish you would. So, I guess something happened, you know what I'm saying? So I turned around. She bit me on my arm. So, when you get bit.
She bit you like a puppy?
Yeah. So, out of reflex, boom, boom. And we both fell. That's how, because I wasn't trying to hit her hard, but it just was a reflex.
Right.
And I just like, I gave you what you asked for. Like, I warned you. Because all this, you know what I'm saying, you hit me and shit, and my nose was like almost broken. I lost a lot of blood. I could have died. So I had to go to the ER to get my nose popped back into place. I was supposed to be wearing like a protective mask and this and that, but I didn't want everybody in my business, so I kind of thugged it out a little bit. But it was just like one of the most worst moments of my life, because just imagine you can't smell for 2 months. I couldn't smell anything for 2 months like that.
Yeah.
But then, you know what I'm saying, she was just all like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I can get crazy sometimes. And it just, when you get to the point where you believe in that rhetoric, that's when it's time to go.
Right.
Because a person who loves you won't put you through that scrutiny.
Yeah, you're right. You don't gotta. If a person really care about you, they want to do. She didn't. But you know what though? I feel like a lot of times when you deal with people and you go through stuff like that in relationships, people need to learn how to deal with their own traumas before they decide to get in a relationship with somebody. And I feel like she could have been bringing some baggage from a past relationship into the relationship that y'all had. Like maybe she was with somebody that put their hands on her. She still felt like she had to do that. You have to deal with your traumas before you decide to get in a relationship with somebody, because nobody deserves to have to deal with what you dealt with in the last, what you had, from the last relationship, or just, I feel like a lot of people have traumas from childhood they don't even deal with. Like, and I saw somebody make a status about this. They say instead of dating, some people just need to go to therapy. Like, don't even get a boyfriend, don't even get a girlfriend. Talk to a professional person, get yourself together first, and then try to date, because nobody should have to deal with your trauma.
No, because when I had my PTSD from just going to a whole bunch of funerals and stuff like that, I took a time just to stay to myself and by myself. And I mean, it still ain't stopped the gratification of females of coming in, but I was just no use, I was no good for them, because I was hurt, and I didn't want to hurt nobody else. I didn't want to repeat the cycle. I didn't want to, just pass that on to them. And, a lot of them just just a lot of people in general just couldn't understand just
Right.
um, adjusting, to everything, and then you have, you know, to pay your bills, and then you have to come home, and you in your thoughts and you in your head all day, and
Right.
it just a lot of people just think they know, but they have no idea because they have a little, I guess, a fragment in their imagination of what depression is about. But it,
Right.
but to me, I feel like it's just pity parties, manipulation.
Right.
Because depression is just like, man, I don't wish that on my worst enemy.
It's depression is horrible. It's like one of the worst. It's like you're trapped inside yourself and you can't get out. Like you honestly feel like you're trapped inside of yourself, and then you can't talk to anybody about it because if you talk to regular people, they're gonna talk like people with the black community. Like when I tell people I went to therapy, they looked at me like I was crazy.
Me too.
Like they felt like therapy was something that white people do or something that black people don't do. Or like something was wrong with me. I'm like, no, something's wrong with you because you rather just sit in your room, not eat, like you sleep all the time, you binge eating, you could be depressed. Talk to somebody and let it out. I don't understand why mental health is very important for men or women. And in the black community, I feel like a lot of times we don't really take mental health seriously because it's like, oh, even as a kid, you say, oh, I'm depressed. Oh, you ain't depressed, go wash dishes or go watch TV or go. But even kids, like especially with the pandemic, I feel like the pandemic, I feel like it brought up because I mean we were pretty. I didn't know what was going on. I went from being able to do whatever I want to do, whatever I want to do it to everything closing at 8 o'clock and I got to wear a mask for a year and a half. Like it's the virus that could kill me, but then it might not kill me. But then we didn't know. That was probably everybody. I think everybody in the world probably went through some form of depression during the pandemic. But it's like I don't understand why it's so frowned upon when you try to reach out to somebody and let them know that you're depressed. And nobody really cares until you commit suicide and everybody loves you. But where the hell was I at when I was going through what I was going through? This could have been prevented. Nobody paid attention to the fact that I wasn't myself. Now that I'm gone, everybody's giving me my flowers now that I'm dead. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. Like
Yeah, and that's the norm, so we normalize that
yeah, it
now.
is.
Because I would tell you, everybody that I loved didn't love me the same like I loved them. So I went through a lot of betrayal. I went through a lot of backstabbing, undermining stuff, but I was able to pull myself out of that. And now those same people trying to come back now. I don't know.
Right.
Is it because um I would say this, like I'm a forgiving person. If you sincere about it, doesn't mean I have to reconnect with you. Doesn't mean I have to be your friend again. But I will forgive you if you give me
Right.
an apology because I'm not no evil person. And I understand that
Right.
everybody has a purpose in your life, and some people serve their purpose with you. And everybody can't go and everybody can't stay.
Right.
And
You're right.
and I just think that people just need a friend so bad or need a sibling so bad because I don't just apply that with just friends, but I apply that to
Right.
anybody that chose to leave you at your worst.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
don't come back when I heal. Don't come back when I'm prosper. Don't come back when I'm blessed.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I mean, but that's why people are though. They only want to mess with you when you fun.
Mhm.
When you want to hang out, when you want to smoke, when you want to drink, when you want to party. But when things get serious, when they gotta reach out to you and call you first, when you don't want to do the things you used to normally do, I feel like you tend to weed out the good and the bad. Everybody comes into your life, and different people serve different purposes in your life. Different seasons of friends. I have people I've been friends with for since elementary school. And I got people that I was friends with for 3-4 months. So we hung out, we had fun, and then it's no ill will towards them. I don't feel any type of way about them. But sometimes so everybody's not meant to stay. Some people they just around for a short amount of time. They teach your ass a lesson and then they move out of your life. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Then but I do kind of feel like when you're going through something is when you know who your real friends are. Like real friends stick around when you depressed, when you can't clean up, when you don't want to cook. Real friends come over and wash your dishes when you're going through a depressed mode. Real friends, make sure you eat. You know what I'm saying? Real friends notice that this person ain't been active on Facebook. I haven't really talked to them. Real friends pop up at your house to make sure you're okay. Like, some people, and it's very rare that you come across those type of people because most people only want to be around you when it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody really wants to take the time to be around you when the shit is hard. When you're not talkative, when you're not fun, when you're not spending money, when you're not going on trips, most people don't want to deal with you. So when you find, I have one friend, and we don't talk often, and we don't hang out. We both got, a kid. We both got lives. But when she can feel when my energy is off, and she'll randomly reach out to me and be like, "What's going on? What's going on with you?" Because we're those type of friends. I feel like the friends that I'm the closest to, my real friends, I don't talk too often because we have lives, but it's like, I think, and then people use the word friends so loosely too. Like I probably have about 3 friends my whole life that are friends. Other people are just associates, but actual friends, you don't really have too many of those. Like you get put out your house today, who could you go stay with? That's a friend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you call somebody and say I'm hungry, even if a friend don't have money, they're gonna be like, hey, come over here and get you something to eat. Those are friends. A lot of people are just around to just be in your business. Or to know what's going on with you, or to just try to one up you, which is very strange to me. Like some people want to be around just to make sure you're not doing better than them, and that's weird energy to me. Like
I know, right?
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
crazy.
Like some people are just like, they want to know everything you got going on. Like, oh, he bought a car, he bought this, and people are generally not happy for you. They just want to be around just to be able to talk about you to other people. They just want to know your business. That's why you can't talk to people when you're depressed, because you got to worry about them telling everybody else in the world. I talked to Will today, and he going through something that's crazy. Like, why would you? That's why I talk to a professional, because then I don't have to worry about everybody knowing what I have going on.
Yeah, I mean, I always feel like it's best to hear it from me than somebody else who's gonna make up like 50 more or add on like 100 more things to one particular story that I'm like, damn, like I don't remember doing that, or I don't remember saying that, but
Right.
But I understand that. Just with as I get older, I just be reserved. I don't give everybody the real me. Everybody don't deserve the real me. You gotta.
You damn right.
You gotta make people.
Everybody don't. That's and when you realize that everybody don't deserve even to be around you, to even breathe the same air you breathe, you got to be very selective with people you let into your space.
And it's funny because like everybody always asks me something like, what's your thing that you like to do? I like to watch YouTube videos on like science fiction and history, and I'm a nerd. I'm a cool nerd. I love it. But when I'm around like certain people, I can adjust. I'm like the loudest in the room and stuff like that. I'm the life of the party, but I have my moments where I'm very intellectual. I love to have a conversation just about world events and politics, and I'm very knowledgeable. But that side is just the reserve side, because there's a lot of people operating on low frequency out here. So
yeah, for real. A lot of you could just say stupid, because that's pretty much what it is. I
mean, trying to be nice.
Everybody, you got to break it down. Yeah. Everybody don't know. So it's a lot of people out here that are dumb as hell. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I just try to be lenient. It's not their fault, but it's their choice. But it's not their fault, but it's their choice to stay stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just feel like, we're in an age now where it's easy to get this information. Anything that you want to know is easy to get access to. But you see people, that just choose ignorance, they choose drama, they choose just pretty much fighting and, ratchet stuff and all this other stuff. But I just wanted to know about like my ancestry, like my family tree.
Right.
So me and my
Right.
cousin, we both did our family trees and stuff, and he even
Mm.
did my father's side of the family. I had no idea that I was named after my grandfather, little brother,
Okay.
and he was a lynch victim. He was lynched when
Oh
he was
wow.
lynched when he was 19. So I'm named after him. So my mom,
Oh, that's
so my
dope. So that's kind of like where your name came from to like honor him, pretty
but my
much.
mom didn't even know who he was. It was just spontaneous. It was just on
Right.
the spot, but she didn't even know that, and that blew me away because I thought I was the only one. So that made me, proud because I used to didn't like my name. I just like, man, why you name me
Right.
this shit? But
Right.
then I realized,
Right. When you a kid, yeah, you like I got a grown man name. Why is my name this?
right, but but now I wear it like a badge of honor because I feel like he depended on me, because he died young and I
Right.
outlived him.
Right.
And when you realize how many people that you outlived, it just will make you want to do great. It just make you want to accomplish your dream more because a lot of
Yep.
people die young and stuff, and nobody really, talking about, man, I can't wait to get old. I can't wait to be a grandparent. I can't wait to just
Right.
chill and rest and
Right.
relax and everything. But
Right.
people just, you know, playing Russian roulette with their lives, and
It's a blessing to get there. To be able to actually be old
hmm
is more of a blessing than what people. I mean, getting old is scary. Like I'm 35, and I'm just like I'm almost 40. Like I feel 50, but it's just like as you get older, you start to get tired. Stuff, your body starts to hurt. Like you can't. You got to go to bed at 10 o'clock. It's just a bunch of, what I'm saying? Like you just be, you have the sun, the earth, to drink coffee at 7 o'clock on the porch. Like I don't know where that comes from, but being an older person is actually really like a blessing because there are so many people our age who are just not even, what I'm saying? Even and it's not even dying from getting shot or it's like cancer and like natural causes
hmm
are taking us out. So you really have to like be grateful if you get to that age where you see your kids grow up and you see your kids have kids because there are so many people our age that are just it's completely insane from COVID to cancer to what I'm saying, just people heart stopping, all type of crazy stuff. Like it's a blessing to wake up every day, but to get older, I'm actually looking forward to being old. I'm looking forward to like being retired and having grandkids and and doing nothing. I'm looking forward to doing absolutely nothing because that's what I hope I can do when I'm old. Nothing.
Oh man, me too. Like I already getting my gray hairs and stuff. Like I was used to.
You can keep that over there. I only got like two so far.
Yeah, because I would just be plucking them out, then they just getting like growing and stuff. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna
Uh-uh.
keep them and stuff. But it's just you earn these. These don't
Right.
come to just anybody and stuff.
Right.
So I feel like I'm being rewarded and
Right.
stuff, and I'm very well beyond my years. I already always been
Right.
like that, just mentally, but now I'm really feeling it. And I just can't wait to the point that I get old and able to just, share my experiences, just be
Right.
like, 20, um, 40 or 20, 50, whatever, and just tell these
Mm-hmm.
kids about the 80s and, well, tell the kids about the 90s, how we had TGI.
Tell the kids about the 2000s. They're gonna be like, "Who the hell? Why was his name Lil Baby? Like, what was? Can you think like when we get old, our music listen to now, when we're grandparents, that's gonna be old music. So can you imagine like the stuff we listen to, like them listening to it, like thinking that it's old, but this is like really what we listen to? It's gonna be weird as hell. Like it's going to be super weird. Like all the rap songs, all the like, all this, it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to them. I want to see what it's gonna be like when we get old. Because what more can happen? Like it's gonna be. What else can happen? Like
Yeah, the 90s songs already considered oldies, though.
yeah, and they the best. It's the best music.
Yeah, now.
So when we get old, our music is gonna be the best. I'm gonna have to learn because I don't know none of the songs, so I get all of the artists mixed
Mhm.
up. So I feel like at some point in time, I gotta know who Lil Baby is, the baby. It's so many different baby. I gotta separate. I gotta know who everybody is. So my grandparents, my kids are like, Grandma, who is this? I could be like, oh, I remember this song when they said, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna know. I don't know nothing that's going on right now. I feel like I'm not even prepared to be old because I don't know none of the music right now.
Well, I'm trying to catch up myself, so
Yeah.
you know, you're not by yourself. And
That makes me feel old. The fact that I don't, if my son will give me a list and show me all the new rappers and tell me to pick somebody out, and I have no idea. Everybody sounds the same. I don't know. And that's why I feel old. Cause before, talk to me, I'm like, I don't know who this is. What kind of music? And I be listening to some of the stuff that they be saying in the songs. And I'm just like, I can't even understand it. That's how I know I'm old. When I'm listening to a rap song and I can't understand the lyrics, I'm like, yeah, I'm old as hell. Cause why I can't understand what he's saying? I can understand Mystical and Twister because they was talking real fast, but I can't understand nothing new. I'm like, well, I don't even know what are they talking about. Why is he rapping about bubblegum? What is this? What is going on here? Like, why? What is this? Like, I'm old.
so you should
Definitely feel old.
you should check out Major 9. He's from Miami, and he's a producer. He makes his own beats. He raps and everything, but he don't use auto tune. He ain't no mumble rapper and stuff. So
okay,
I'm gonna send you some of his music. And
okay,
you know, Bar Greasy is.
Now you're gonna embarrass me on the pot. I didn't know. I don't know. If they got a popular song, I might know, but I don't.
Yeah.
No idea.
Don't worry. I'm gonna help you out. You know, I'm gonna send you some stuff. Yeah. You know, I just I agree with you because just the thing like how we were when we opened up fire hydrants and stuff, and we used to run. It was just.
That used to be fun. I remember that. You know what? And it's sad because kids will never experience the childhood that we had. We had riding bikes, building snowmen, the excitement of having to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to see your school name go across the TV on a snow day. If we even had a snow day.
Right.
Like being able to, we used to ride bikes miles away from home. They will never, and it's messed up because my kids will never experience how much fun it was. Being a kid in the 90s was nothing compares to that. The ice cream trucks and, you know what I'm saying, the family affair, they won't ever experience that. We had a ball. I mean, we didn't have, all they got is cell phones and PS4 and Wi-Fi. Yeah. That's all they care about.
Tablets and
in the game.
Right.
Fortnite and 2K and your cell phone and Wi-Fi. And watching other kids play with toys on YouTube. That's pretty much, that's what they got. That's it.
Oh, exactly. It just...
I don't think kids nowadays could survive a day in our life. Like, never. They could never,
No.
You don't get to go out to eat every day. You're like, what? I gotta eat. It's food at the house? What's food at the house? Our kids don't know nothing about no food at the damn house. They don't know nothing about if you got McDonald's money. They don't know nothing about you close the door, you letting out my air. They don't know nothing about that. Nothing.
Yeah, DoorDash, man. It's just...
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. My kids think that's just... I do... Could you imagine us being kids and being able to go on a phone that we could take away from home, because we didn't have cell phones like that, and be able to order the food and get it delivered? Can you imagine being 11 and taking your cell phone and DoorDash and McDonald's to your house? Could you imagine that? What the heck?
I didn't think that would ever exist.
Never.
Because we used to have to ride our bike.
I never thought FaceTime would exist. To be able to look at a person while you talk. Because I remember... The Simpsons, they had an episode where and I was like, I thought when I had a church, that was the best it was ever going to be. I would have never thought I'd be able to talk to you face to face and we're not in the same house. I thought clicking the button and being able to talk through the walkie-talkie was the highlight of my life.
Ooh, yeah, these kids.
Now I can FaceTime 45 people all at the same time. That's crazy.
Yeah, and these kids will never understand how it is when you was on the phone and then your mama be like, I know you ain't on my phone this damn late.
Yes, or having to get off the phone to use the internet because it was download. You remember that? You couldn't even talk on the phone and be on the internet at the same time.
Man, it's just, man.
Or not having a cell phone. How do we survive? I just was gone all day on my bike with no way of communicating with me at all. How was that even? That was just nuts. They could never.
But the good thing about that time was you had to earn clout, you had to earn popularity, you
Uh-huh.
had to work for it. But now,
You did.
but now, um, all you can do is just you can take pictures with your ass out and get 100,000 followers.
Yep.
But
You're right.
but me, a lot of people ask me this all the time. They ask me, so if your show do get picked up, would you sign a contract and this and that? And I told people like this, like I'm not selling out, even if it have to take me years and stuff like that,
Right.
because so many people feel like um because I don't have enough multicultural people on here that I'm racist or something like that. I
Right.
feel like we should have something for ourselves. There's nothing wrong
You're
with
right.
that because,
You're right.
sure, you ain't never seen no black person on Cheers. You barely seen any
Right.
black people on Friends. You barely seen
Right.
any black people on Wings.
Right.
So I feel like this. I feel like, how it was when we was coming up, when we saw BET. That made us feel good when we saw
Right.
BET before it became corrupt. But I just think that we need our own platforms and stuff like that, so we could talk about our
Everything
problems.
doesn't need to be segregated. Everything doesn't need to, we don't have to segregate anything. I think that black people have got into this weird space where we feel like we have to like let other races of people in, because if we don't, then like and I can say racist because we can't be, we're prejudiced, or we, but it's like it's nothing wrong with you appreciating your own people. Like there's nothing wrong with you having something that's geared for black people, because we don't really have anything that's just ours. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
we don't have to let everybody into everything that we do. So if you want to have a radio show or a podcast and your guests are predominantly black, that doesn't mean that you don't like any other cultures or people. That means you appreciate your people. You know what I'm saying? And this is a place. We need safe spaces for black people. Black people can go and deal with black people and talk about issues with black people that affect us, and you don't have to let anybody into it if you don't want to, because I feel like most black people have a lot of the same experiences. You can't have a conversation with a white person and talk about how scared you was when they got pulled over. They can't relate to that. You know what I'm saying? They can't relate to feeling like, they didn't get a job because of what their name was on the application.
Right.
They can't relate to it. You can't have a conversation with a white person about your ancestry and who was slaves and who wasn't, because they don't understand that. So you don't have to let anybody else into your space. If every single guest you have on this radio show or this podcast are all black people, that's okay. You don't have to let anybody else in until you're ready to let another person in. But if you do decide to let another person in, I feel like they should be able to receive whatever you have to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it could be important maybe in the future, because for them to be educated, because I feel like a lot of times white people don't really know how to say or how to feel, because they don't really know anybody black, and they have never had a conversation with a black person to educate them as to why we are the way that we are, why we feel the way that we feel about some issues, why some black people really don't mess with. It's not the fact that they're prejudiced or they don't like white people. They've had bad experiences with white people, so they don't really deal with people of other cultures, because every single experience they've ever had with somebody outside of their culture has been negative. So they don't deal with them. So like, I don't really feel like it's important for you to let anybody else in from another race or culture or background if you don't want to do that, because this is your show.
Yeah.
And with the things you talk about, I feel like are more geared towards your specific race of people, because we have a different, contrary to popular belief, whether people want to admit it or not, black people live a totally different life than other people. We live a totally different life than any other race of people. Like, they hate us out here. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like I don't know if it's intimidation. I don't know, but I feel like other races of people, they don't like us. And it's crazy because they brought our ass over here, but that's another story. But you know what I'm saying? You don't like us, but it's because of you all that I'm over here in the first place. So, okay, like,
And to be honest,
why the fuck did you bring me over here in the first? I mean, that don't make no sense.
and to
Like,
be honest, a lot of us was already over here.
yeah, we were, and that's true
Hmm.
too. There were black people who were here,
Hmm.
but I'm saying the ones that they, just like, I don't really care. You should go back home, but you brought me over here. So how you gonna bring me over here and tell me I need to go? Well, buy me a ticket and send me back to Africa then, if you don't want me. Like,
No,
put me back on the damn
no,
boat.
it's funny. I had this discussion with somebody on the 4th of July because
Right.
I wasn't, patriotic. I wasn't in the holiday spirit. So there was like, where your flag colors at? And I was like, well, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm more of an American than you are.
Right.
And it was like, what do you mean? So I pretty much told him, look up the definition of an American in the 1828 dictionary. And the next day, he came back and he was like, oh my God, you was right.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't know about, those particular origins and stuff like that, and what they call this and what they describe.
Right.
It's just documentation of actual explorers who came over here
Right.
and gave clear descriptions and everything. Because we never came on boats.
Right.
Because it would be
See,
literally
I was
impossible.
because you know what, and not to cut you off, I was wondering about that because I've never seen like any. They say like what slave ships look like, but are there like what do I want? Like I was listening to somebody talk, and they were saying like there's never been like an actual slave ship that anybody has found from like way back
No,
then. I'm like, well, where did the ships go?
they didn't exist. Because in order for it to be a ship, it has to have a motor. That's what the house is, a ship. But
Right.
there's quarries, there's sailboats and everything like that. But ships has motors in
Right.
them.
Right.
And I tell people this: if they can find the Titanic that sunk in 1912,
Right.
but you can't find the Amistad, the
There, right,
Matilda,
where are
no,
the boats? Yeah, that's what
no,
I was, you know what, and that's crazy because I just watched a TikTok video about that a couple days ago, and the man was like, "Where the hell are the ships? Like, where are they? Where?" He was like all over the place with that. He was talking about the ships. He was talking about like religion. You know what I'm saying? How like we got over here and they preached a certain type of Christianity to black people, and then they still kind of, you know what I'm saying, go by. It was just I'm gonna have to send you the link. He intense. Like his 3-minute videos are life. And I'm just like, wait a minute, where are the shit? He's like, where has anybody ever seen an actual, actual slave ship? Like where are all the ships at? And I'm like, man, where are the ships? That is,
But to be honest with you, our grandparents wasn't even taught about slavery. Slavery
Right.
didn't get taught into our school curriculum until after Roots came out. And Roots came
Right.
out and premiered in the early 70s. So let me tell you this. If that's really what happened, if that's really the truth, then it would have never got premiered on NBC. Even Alex Haley admitted that he plagiarized that whole entire story from a white man.
Right.
And he got taken to court and he had to pay his settlement. That's the thing. So if Alex Haley can make up something about that, then the autobiography of Malcolm X needs to be questioned as well. Because
Right.
Malcolm X never sat down and worked with Alex Haley. It was in the making. He was thinking about it, but he
Right.
was assassinated. So
Right.
that book got published and got released after his death. So
Right.
it was a lot of people, even his family, said that it was inaccurate, but they got paid for it. So
Right.
they, had
Right.
to sign an agreement to
Right.
not, call them out on it.
Right.
But I tell people this, like, question everything that's been taught to you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do your own research to try to figure out stuff for yourself. I feel like once you start reading books and you start like watching listening to different people, different historians, like people our age that kind of like break everything down, it'll have you question everything you was ever taught in your whole life, from learn about slavery from religions. It'll have you analyzing everything that you ever, and it's very like, it makes your hair hurt to just think like, is this right? Is that right?
I know,
like,
right?
you know what I'm saying? Like it's actually like to sit down and have conversations with people about stuff like that. It's like, I never thought about it like that. But is that right though? Because this is what I've been taught. Like this is what I've always known, but that's not right. Like
it was just,
it's just I don't know. It's over. It could be overwhelming. It could be to know, think that something is one way your whole life, and then have conversations with people who actually have researched it and tell you something different. It's just like, it's mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? Almost. But the thing about the ships though, like I like I said, I just was like, damn, that's crazy. I have never seen, like, what did they do? He was like, where the ships at? And I'm like, where are they? Like, were all of them destroyed? Like,
man,
that's crazy.
it was, like I said, like, it was done, but it was done in reverse. So the Middle Passage and all that stuff, they took a whole bunch of people. It's a story. John Lynch. He's named, well, Lynchburg, Virginia is named after him. So he wrote Thomas Jefferson, and he told Thomas Jefferson that he wanted to get rid of the Negro people. So he grabbed a whole bunch of people, because that's what the Louisiana Purchase is about.
Okay.
So they took a whole bunch of people and they transferred them to Africa. You know what I'm saying? So it was all done in reverse. But a lot of us was already over here. You know, there's documentations, and I tell people, quit going to ancestry.com, because majority of us is going to be listed under Nigerian, because you got these foreigners who were assigned to these you know, those type of tests because of eugenics.
Right.
And you know, you have somebody by the name of Margaret, I think her name, I don't want to butcher it, but she said that her goal was to get rid of the Negro population. That was her goal. And allegedly, this was Hillary Clinton's mentor. You know, I read all this. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much done my research on this type of stuff.
Right.
But they know who we are. That's why everybody hates us, because the Trail of Tears that, you know, be discussed about the Native people and stuff like that.
Right.
They didn't wipe us out through genocide and war and this and that. They wiped us out through the pen, legislation, laws. That's how they wiped us out, because we're the only race that has been reclassified more than anybody.
Right.
Because we went from, you know, Negro, we went from slave, we went from nigger, we went from colored, we went from Afro-American. We only been African Americans for over 30 years.
Yeah, because there were a lot of different other things that, because I remember people saying blacks and coloreds and Negroes back in the 1960s and stuff. When I watch movies, I always hear them saying Negro or the other N word, that, you know, with a harder R at the end of it.
Of course, but back in the days, you couldn't call nobody black, because that was derogatory. They would cut you, they would shoot you, because that was an insult. So you had these celebrities, these paid celebrities, was passing this agenda, because it was all an agenda. Even Marcus Garvey was an agent. A lot of people was paid off to, you know, have an agenda against us, because they know who we are, you know, and this is a billion-dollar company to keep us down. Because when you sit back and think about it, because the Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, that was the first Black Wall Street. It was a lot of all Black communities that got destroyed. You know, even
Rosewood, and then wasn't Central Park?
Yeah, Central.
Like a high functioning Black community before they turned into a damn park.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I just read something about that not too long ago. That it was a community where it's like black people and they had it was a very successful like town. And then something happened and now it's apart.
Even Atlanta, Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
was rebuilt under all black town. So pretty much it's like a river called Lake Lanier. It's a grave. You know, it's an old black town, but
Right.
it's a whole bunch of water under it. They say that you can still see the street signs, the old street signs.
That's crazy.
Hmm. See, I know all this, but I play dumb and everything like that
Right.
because, like I said,
Right.
everybody don't deserve this, but I just feeling
Right.
this. I just loving this energy over here. So
Yeah, because like I said, I'm any type of like documentary about stuff, especially that have to do with us. I actually don't, I always am kind of open to learning new information because I feel like some things just don't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying? When you started, hearing like how, and I'm just like, so you always have to like research and then having conversations with other people that kind of like are on the same thing that you want, or kind of, I know a little bit, but then you know a lot of it, and then you can kind of inform me. I think because everything that you're saying is stuff that I've already heard, like snippets about. I just never sat down and had a conversation with anybody to like air it all out. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never done that, but it's dope though to find out new things about, what I'm saying, stuff that you kind of know about, you don't really know about. Cause I'm a little smart too. I don't really, like I'm I got a little bit of nerdiness mixed up in me too. So I get it.
I mean, it'd be funny because when I'm speaking like this, and a lot of people be like, "Man, we don't want to hear that Black Power shit right now." And I'm like, "No, this is education. This is American history. This is
Right.
shoot. Quit, trying to, ignore it because, like I said,
Right.
like anything can be helpful. Knowledge you can take
Knowledge
forever.
is
Yeah,
power.
knowledge you
When
take
you know a
forever.
lot, but people don't know you know a lot, you become powerful. The more you know, the more powerful you are. Like your brain is like the most important muscle in your body, in my opinion. So if you have a lot of knowledge about things, like even when people you look like you don't know anything, but you do, I feel like it's good to to kind of take. And it's not. I mean, it's good to learn new things, to learn new things about yourself, to learn things that people wouldn't expect for you to know. So it's like. I mean, I just kind of feel like you have to talk to special people though, because only certain people are like grown up enough or mature enough to actually listen to what you have to say. Most people only want to talk about messy stuff and drama in other people's business. But to sit down somebody like our age and have a conversation about Black Wall Street and about Rosewood and about, because when I watch those type of movies or those type of documentaries, I like to go and like start to like look it up for myself. You know what I'm saying? And whether I'm going on Google, which only gives you some information, or a book, or even talking to somebody that's older, you know what I'm saying, who was around when it happened, like a grandparent or a great grandparent, to kind of remember, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of what was going on. Like that type of stuff is important to us as a race because we have really been knocked down time and time. That's why I don't ever let anything like make me feel defeated or feel like I can't do something, because just thinking about all the stuff that they went through all the way back then and they kept going, I don't have no excuse not to. I don't have nearly as many, hurdles in my way, I feel like, as what they had, and a lot of them still overcame it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they had situations where I actually end up reading up not too long ago. I can't remember what the name of the show was on Netflix. I mean on Hulu. But like when they built the subdivisions, there was like a clause in the contracts for the subdivision that said that Black people couldn't stay there. You couldn't rent or sell to African American people when the first subdivisions popped up. You know what I'm saying? So there are people who actually can afford to live in better places, but were not allowed to because it was in the contract of the, you know what I'm saying, when those two brothers got together and borrowed that money from the bank, and they actually came up with the first, suburban area, right in the paperwork, it said they were not allowed to sell to us. That's crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have just been getting knocked down time after time after time again, and people still fall through all of that. So ain't no excuse for us not to, you know what I'm saying, at least do something, because we don't even. That's just nuts to me. It's crazy to me how many hurdles. When you think about it, Black people have had to jump through a lot of hurdles. A lot. There are a lot of like roadblocks in our way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people actually have the, and that's why I'm so happy this day and age, there's so many black people, especially black people our age, who are like going into business for themselves. You know, people doing lashes, doing nails, barbershops, podcasts. It's getting to the point now where our generation is like, okay, I'm done letting people hold me back from what I want to do. I'm just gonna start my own. I'm gonna be my own boss. I'm gonna work for myself, and it's working. It's a lot of successful young black entrepreneurs out there, and I feel like that's kind of like our way of, you know what I'm saying, getting our strength back, is to be like, you know what, I'm not going to work for nobody who tell me I can't have a specific job because of whatever. I'm just going to work on my, you know, work for myself and make my own money. I feel like that's the thing for us. I honestly feel like, and it's probably going to sound bad, but I feel like desegregation was kind of detrimental to black people a little bit. Like, not to say like, you know, we shouldn't sit on the back of a bus. No, we shouldn't have to use, you know, black only water fountains and black only restrooms, but having our own restaurants and our own places that are just ours, I feel like we're trying to get back to that. You know what I'm saying? You know, support. And I guess for me, I don't understand, you know, want to go to the different restaurants, sit at the lunch. I'm like, was the food even good? Like, why do we, I guess when you're in a place where you're not allowed to do something, you want to do it. But now that's opened up over the years, like now it's, before they wanted all the black people to be in one space. Mm-hmm. They wanted all of us to be in a space. Mm-hmm. Ever since we desegregated, now they want to be in our space. Before it was okay for us to be all in a certain space because they wanted us to. But now that we want to just be in a space for us, it's frowned upon because it's what we want to do. That's crazy to me. I'm like, not to say that we should have left it alone, but I feel like us just having things that were just for us, we kind of ruined that. When we pushed for us to have to be a part of everybody else is going to feel like they could be a part of us. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I just think the civil rights movement really had a hand in that, because it started off as a revolution amongst,
right,
you know, people. But everybody really don't know how the young Martin Luther King was. You know, at first,
right,
you know, he was working for them. And then the last couple years of his life, he started to become his own independent thinker. Because
right. And they didn't like that.
Because he felt bad. Because like he said that, you know, we will eventually get what we want, but I feel like I integrated my people into a burning house.
Right.
And pretty much everything that he said in them old speeches, it's pretty much like, it's more like he was really like a prophet if you really think about it, because like he's the same stuff going on, still riots, it's still police brutality, it's still self-hate, it's still, you know, the same stuff, but not as much, but it's still there. Like, I'm surprised that it really have, you know, we went this long without a police shooting. And I mean, I don't want nobody to get shot, but it's just like, we've been seeing this type of stuff to the point that it's numb to us now.
Right. It is, yeah.
But I just explained to people, like, when we was segregated, we was together.
Right. It was more unity within the black community. We were more unified back then.
Yeah.
Everybody had to help everybody in order to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a lot more community back then when we were forced to be in that.
Yeah, because you had a dentist, you had a doctor, you had a pastor, you had a fireman.
Right.
There was black police officers, but, you know, they didn't have no rights and everything. But all of them lived on the same block.
Yeah.
But now everybody's scattered. And then just because, you know, one person, or one black person, one black woman, one black child, you know, son or daughter, if they get hurt and this and that, or they get killed, you know, we feel like it's not our problem. You know, that's something that, you know, it's none of that anymore. You know, it's just like, you know, I feel like, oh, I should mind my own business. Because I remember we were coming up, and we got caught doing something bad. I remember our neighbors used to come and whoop us. And
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, you know, and they take us home.
You would have got in trouble by your neighbor, and it would have made it all like they could snatch you the hell up. You know what I'm saying? Before you, and then call your mama, and then you got fucked up again when you got home. Like it's not like that anymore. Everybody's like, don't say anything to my child. You know, nobody. There's no. The village is gone. We don't have a village anymore when it comes to kids because everybody feels like nobody else can say anything for their child.
No.
So they just do whatever they want to do because, I mean, until the parent deals with it because it's not, nobody else is allowed to say anything. When we were younger, people were allowed to say stuff to us. You know, if you had Miss Johnson on the corner and she caught you doing something, she can get you. And then she would call your mama and tell your mama, oh, yeah, I snatched up Britany today. She was throwing rocks at cars or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, not that I would ever do that. But,
yeah.
You know, you could, being a parent, it's not like that anymore. Like everybody is like, oh, don't touch my child. Don't say anything to my child. Like, don't, you know. So we kind of lost that. So I get it. It's nuts. It's nothing like it. The world is totally different now. Like totally different age, totally different. Everything's just totally different. Like, and it's I guess it's a good thing and a bad thing. Some things are good, but there's a lot of things too that are like, oh, I kind of wish it used to be how it was, you know, when it comes to, because it's the world we live in is, I feel like it might have been crazy when we were younger, but I feel like it's way more crazy now. Like, I feel like the stuff that I did as a child, being able to just be outside playing, I would never allow my kids to just go outside and play like that without watching them. Because people are more, I feel like people have lost their minds. Like, everybody's insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts. It's a scary world.
And then the craziest thing about it was designed years ago how
right.
it was going to be today.
Right.
So they knew exactly what they was doing. Mm-hmm. But, you know what I'm saying, once they can't get everybody to comply and get everybody to conform, you're
right.
crazy.
Right.
And I think like I said, I think for myself, I realized that I ain't gonna be able to get everybody on the same page, and it's not my job to make anybody or everybody
right.
think like I think, because
right.
everybody has their own. You know, we all got our own rights to think the way we want.
You're right. Yeah, we do.
So that's why I don't really judge. I don't dispute or dismiss anybody's opinion because everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like I want people to respect me when I do my show. You know, I respect them, but
right.
just understand, like, you know, you may not like what I say, but you understand, like, you know, if I'm speaking dispassionate about certain things, then obviously I'm not lying.
It's your show. So even if you got on here and rap your ABCs, you can do it because it's your show. You can do whatever you want to do on your show. So you can either be a fan or not. But I mean, this is yours. It's yours. So you can pretty much do whatever you want. And I mean, there's always going to be, you have support from people you don't even know you have support from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've watched a couple episodes. I thought it was dope. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was cool actually to be on the show. Like, I feel like you're doing something that anytime I see something like this, it's like Joe Budden podcast. Or, you know, like all it takes is for you to have one topic with one person go viral, and then you own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this is the genius. This is a genius thing that you're doing. Like, this could change the whole dynamic of your life. You can just do this and make money without even working a regular job. Once you do so many episodes, you get so far, you can just be a professional podcaster.
Oh, absolutely. That's the goal. You know, that's the plan. Because I just got to get our voices out here. You know, you coming out here now. You know, this will go down in history.
Right.
Because a lot of people doesn't have the notion to be able to have their, you know, face recorded or their voice heard, and that's the best thing, because we all gonna die, we all gonna inspire, and everybody isn't thinking about leaving a mark, and I'm leaving a mark. I just finally found something that I was good at. So,
and that's all this. I'm still trying to get there. I don't have any, like, I go to school, I work, and it's just like, what do I want to even do in my life? Like, finding out what you're good at and actually pursuing it is probably, you're winning at life, because I don't have any idea what I mean, I have an idea of what I need to do, but as far as like something I'm passionate about, the only thing I can probably think of is hair. Like, everybody keeps telling me, just go to hair school. Like, you can be bald head and 3 days later your hair is damn near to your ass. Like, you need to share that with the world. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's almost the type of thing where you kind of psych yourself out. Like, if I'm going to school to be a nurse, or I'm going to school to be a dental hygienist, I know for a fact when I'm done with school, this is the type of money I'm going to make. But if I go into business for myself and I make my own hair care line of products, I don't know how this is going to pan out for me. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like sometimes I just feel like I should probably just jump and then just see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just kind of holding myself back from doing what I really think I should be doing, just from the fear of the money not rolling in, how the money's rolling in with the job. It's a lot of things that cross your mind when you think about it. So I commend you for, this is something I want to try. I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to see what happens. Because I feel like I need to do that. And I just haven't, I'm a safe person. I got a job. I know how much money I'm making. I'm safe. You know what I'm saying? But to be able to jump out and try something new and be vulnerable to people how you are, I want to get to that point. That's dope. Like,
to elaborate on that, I didn't think that this was going to happen as quickly as it did.
right.
I just wanted to do it, and
Right.
you know, because I watch different podcasts and stuff like that, and some people
Right.
get the radio shows and podcasts confused and everything, and I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted to be myself. Right. You know,
right.
You at work, you got to use your voice that damn well you don't sound like that. Damn well you don't
right.
talk like that, but you got to.
Right. It's like your customer service voice, because I have one. I have a customer service voice. I do.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then when your manager come, you speak in high octaves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't sound like that. Like, what I'm doing, but here,
right,
it's liberation. It's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I can dress the way I want and do what I
right.
want to do and stuff, and but you get a person that's gonna be professional. Is gonna be respectful and stuff.
Right.
But it's just, you never know until you try.
Right.
And then you know a lot of people and stuff like that, so it's gonna come.
Right.
You just gotta take that.
I just have to jump. I just gotta jump, and then I'm young enough to recover from whatever happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just have to jump. I'm scared of heights, so jumping off the cliff is terrifying to me, because I'm like, what if I land in the rocks and die? You know what I'm saying? Like, hypothetically speaking, but it's very scary. It's very scary to step outside of your comfort zone and do something. Like, go with the unknown is pretty much what I would be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the fear of the unknown is scary as hell. Like,
mm-hmm.
I commend every single person I know who has walked away from whatever job they've walked away from and went into business, because that's scary. Like, I know for a fact I make $30 an hour, but then I quit this job and I could get 100 orders one day and 2 orders the next. It's like, that's scary, So, but I feel like, I just need to go with what I'm happy with doing. And I feel like when I'm telling people about hair, when I'm doing hair, when I'm anything, because people inbox me all day, my inbox goes off, and people ask me, what type of voodoo magic do you do? Like, what is it? How is your hair short? And then 1 week later, or not even a week, a year, like a year, my hair was like up to here. And then now my hair is all the way down here in 1 year. And it's just me just kind of watching YouTube videos, learning the texture of hair that I had, learning what products work best for my hair. And then because a lot of Black women don't know, there are different types of hair. Every natural hair care product does not work for everybody. Some people have high porosity hair, low porosity hair. People don't even know what the hell porosity is when it comes to hair. You know what I'm saying? I studied it for years and perfected the shit out of it. So it's like, why am I not Why am I not teaching this to other people? Why am I not creating? Because I know exactly what people need to do. I know what to do for dry hair. I know what to do for, you know what I'm saying, to retain length. I know what to do. Like, I could pretty much set up a camera like I'm doing right now, go on YouTube and like talk to people about what, and it's like, it's just to the point where I'm too busy. I don't want to do it. There are already a bunch of other people doing it, but I should do it because I feel like I already have the fan base, and talking to you just made me feel like it's reassurance for me. Like, okay, you need to go quit talking about it and just do it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what I'm happy doing. I'm happy to, you know what I'm saying? It's so scary to just jump out. It's terrifying to just anything different. I've worked in the same job for 15 years. I've lived in the same house for 10 years. Any type of change is just like completely just scary to me. But you have to learn how to do other things. Like, I almost feel like I'm in the movie Groundhog Day, and I'm reliving the same, year. Because I do the same, you know what I'm saying? You get up in the morning, you get dressed, you get coffee from the same place, you get the same bagel every day, you go to the same job, talk to the same people, have the same fake voice, and you go home and you do this. It's like I'm doing the same shit over and over. And it's like, I need to figure out something else that I need to do with myself besides what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have way too much talent. I'm way too smart to continue to live the life that I'm living. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you could say, hey, I want to try a podcast, I'm gonna get a podcast. I might have 2 viewers, I might have 200 viewers. And I need to be like that. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna jump.
And then speaking of hair, next time you look at a tree, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people,
Yeah.
they won't catch on, but
Yeah.
yeah. But
I need to do it.
yeah, like I said, you just never know what can happen or the possibilities.
Right.
Because the
Right.
best thing about doing this is that I had hood niggas like approach me. I thought my life was over and everything because I was caught lacking and stuff like that.
Right.
And they were like scary, you know what I'm saying? So,
right.
and they were like, oh, wait, man, like, it ain't nothing like that, man. We big fans of yours, man. We respect you, man. And,
right.
So I've been having just, people come up to me and just giving me my flowers and stuff like that, because
right.
it's not easy, but nothing ever comes easy to anybody that wants a better life. But just know that while you work, you could just put something aside.
Right. Oh yeah, that's definitely important. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like I say, like, I don't advise anybody to just quit their job and this and that, because that's unrealistic.
It is. Oh, you're right. It is unrealistic. It is. It's very unrealistic.
But some people made it. 9 times out of 10 doing that method. But also, it's just while you own a job, that's the perfect place to market and network. That's why I got this.
Right.
Because whenever people see this, I get a whole like 5-minute conversation, and then once I explain it to them, they're like, "Oh my God, man, you a genius!" and stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, it be just like that. Like, just working at a hospital, you never know who you're gonna run into. So, I got doctors that's watching my show. I got nurses watching my show. I got therapists watching my show, and they just be fascinated because they like, man,
it's good network. It's a good networking environment for you.
Mm-hmm.
Having like people, professional people that you connect with, because you never even know who watching. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty dope that you got a following just from your just to benefit what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Outside of your job.
Yeah, and I just tell people this, like, don't waste 30, 40 years of doing something for somebody else when you could have put all that time and energy into you.
Yeah.
And who knows, like, that little 401k, who knows that it's going to be benefit or available to us when we become that age. Because, time's changing. So
it is, yeah.
So we can touch that now. It's just all about grinding. It's all about working. It's
Right.
all about, just staying consistent and resilient and
Right.
understanding.
You have to make up in your mind the life you want to live as an older person too. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like when you got 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 in the 401k, you want to buy a car, you want to, go on a vacation, just think like, is it even worth it? Because when I retire, this is the money I'm putting aside in order for them to be able to not have to do anything. So, you know what I'm saying? I feel like learning how to save money is probably one of the biggest things that I've learned how to do, because some people say, hey, you only live once. No, you only die once. You live every day, but if you want to you can I feel like we spend it for things that don't make any sense. Like, buy a new car, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Buy a house, that's fine. But it's like, okay, but then you get old and it's like, okay, well, what you supposed to do now? Like, there'll be no Social Security, I feel like, when we get old. So it's our
Nope.
responsibility to save. Like, we got to save our own money. Like, that's nuts.
And that comes from, being at the slave auction. That's where that comes from. How much is he worth? How much is she worth? That's what that comes from. We so big on materialistic things to the
Yeah.
point that, okay, the person may be an idiot, but he got 50,000 in his pocket right now. But that person would get static because he has $50,000 in his pocket. But the person who have $10 in their pocket, he may not be so accessible to your particular lifestyle, but he would treat you right. But that person will get this because he got $10 in his pocket.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like a lot of people, like I said, I explain to people all the time, like, just because I'm Dollar Will, doesn't mean I got $1 million, or I'm got it like that. But my mind is my currency because I can teach you a lot, and I have a 401k, I have life insurance, so I got, credentials, and I'm working on getting assets and stuff like that. So I'm looking up
That's important.
those particular things.
People don't understand that when we become an adult, man. Like 401k, life insurance, AAA, that's important now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like good credit is like credit. I feel like is more beneficial than money. Like I feel like if you got decent credit, you can pretty much get anything you want. Credit is very important. Like until you being able to walk into a dealership and sign your name on the line for a car and not have to put no money down is like the ultimate feeling. Like that's like the best feeling. You know what I'm saying? To be able to like want something and not need a cosigner. But it's like I feel like a lot of us weren't even taught the importance of any of that stuff.
No.
Life insurance, 401k, credit. We just all like turned 18, got a shit ton of credit card debt. Got ourselves out of it and said, I'm never going to do that shit ever again. I pretty much feel like that's how my life went. You turn 18, every store you go in, say, you want a card? I'm like, yeah, I want a card. And now I'm $40,000 in debt from TJ Maxx. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I got to pay that off.
Man.
Pay my credit cards off, and then, okay, now I'm a 759. Okay, but it took me 20 years to get there because when I was 18, I lost my damn mind. And don't even got none of the shit I bought with the cards that I went all into debt for. So what was even the point? Like that debt to income ratio, and people don't be understand that shit is. I feel like it's crazy as hell for me to always I feel like I have to be in debt in order to have good credit. Like you always have to be paying on something to maintain. I can't never just pay something off and just have good credit. I gotta have a credit card or something to show y'all I can pay it. Okay, like it's just a lose-lose situation all the way around. Like,
oh yeah, it really is, and
it's nuts.
And it's just so sad. Like, just this world and this. Well, I would say not just this world, but I would say this country. This country is
the way that they do things here is stupid as hell. Like if you have conversation, I don't know if you have any international friends. But I have friends that live in other countries, some that were born there, some that were just like, have husbands that are military, they're in the military. And you have a conversation with somebody in the military or somebody that's like married to somebody in the military or somebody just that live over there and they tell you the way that things work over there versus over here. Our country is just really like and what, excuse my language, it's fucked up over here. Like the way that we do things over here is just like, what? Like sick time and vacation time, personal days, you only get so many. How the hell you gonna tell me how many days I'm gonna be sick? You know what I'm saying? Like other countries, when you sick, you just don't go to work. Over here, you got 10 days to be sick out of 365. And if you know, like, okay, well, let me just tell my body not to not feel good. You know, 11 times. Like 10 times I can feel like shit, but the 11th time I gotta suck it up because I don't have any vacation time. I don't have any more personal time. Like what the fuck? What is that? It's nuts how we do things over here. Insurance, co-pays. It's just nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I wanted to, just to ask people this: how come there is a U.S. embassy in every country, but
Right.
there's no Japan embassy, there's no China embassy,
Right.
there's no
Right.
India embassy over here?
Nothing. Right.
And I should just tell everybody something, because even though like we are the best country in the world, allegedly, that's what they say, but
Right.
we really need to get our shit together, because
Yeah.
they work really they're working on eliminating us, as much as
Mm-hmm.
possible, just
Right.
like they always have. But we always been undefeated. Black people are undefeated, and no matter what they have done, um, just even chemical or biological, physical, emotional,
Right.
um, warfare that ever happened. Like we still
Right.
standing, but we need to understand that. We need to understand how resilient that we are the best of the best, and we are always been the
Right.
strongest. We always been the most
Right.
oppressed, and like I said, I can't um, expect for another man to understand my oppression, but
Right.
it's just everybody has a lens. Some people have a
Right.
clear one, some people have a dirty one. But
Right.
the dirty one can be wiped off if somebody want to wipe it off. But I'm
Right.
just trying to explain to people that it's time for us to come together, stop trying to stun on each other,
Mm-hmm.
stop, saying trying to flex on each other, because ain't nobody better than nobody.
Right.
Because, like I said, if this was Jim Crow right now and it was a mob coming down, you would get, what I'm saying, kidnapped like I would get kidnapped.
Right.
So we
Right.
need to just come into an agreement. Like we don't have to like each other, but we have to respect each other.
Yeah. And I feel like honestly, we might be the only race that's like that though.
We are.
Like I feel like say, for example, like you have Arabic people come over here from other countries, buy a gas station or buy a store, and they don't pay taxes for like 7 years or
Hmm.
however much it is, and then once that time comes up and somebody else from the country comes over here, they'll like put that person in the store and they'll get a different. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to see everybody eat, and I feel like sometimes as Black people we get so focused. We want to be like the one that everybody wants to be like. You know what I'm saying? We want to be like
Accepted.
the one at the top and want everybody else to like want everything. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a position to put somebody on, just put them on. It's enough money to go around.
Yeah.
Like why not just help the next person? If my job is hiring and I put a post out and say, hey, we hiring or whatever, everybody apply. I'm not gonna ignore some of the comments. I work at such and such a place. We're hiring. Put in an application. I don't gotta inbox. I don't gotta say, hey, go to my inbox. I'm gonna tell certain people, no, we need all y'all because I'm tired of fucking being here. So everybody apply for the job. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Like I just don't. The way we do stuff sometimes just don't even make no sense to me. Like I don't really. But then they say, from what I've heard from older people, the way that we act is kind of like the crab in the bucket type of mentality. Like I guess back in slavery times, they pit Black people against each other, and we kind of still, carry that same thing with us today. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, it's just like, I don't know what I don't know why. I mean, I guess I kind of know why they probably would have did that, but like everybody wanted to be like the best of the best, and then like hundreds of years later, we still going through the same shit without the shackles. You know what I'm saying? Like this person wants to be I ain't gonna say house Negro, but I'm pretty. That's kind of like how it feels. Like,
Yeah, and
why not just help everybody? Like, it don't make no sense.
and the craziest thing about it was Uncle Tom wasn't the bad guy. Sambo was, but people believed that story
Right.
and had got it misconstrued. And
Right.
because I understand that all black ain't good black. You know,
Right.
I don't know if you saw Judas and the Black Messiah yet, but that's a prime example of not all black is good black, and
Right.
we got to understand that um, I don't know if you um, know why I call my show the 1804 show. Um, well, I was very inspired by the Haitian Revolution, was because they
Right.
used men, women, and children, so they used everybody. But before they
Right.
took on the French, they killed the slaves that was going to tell. So
Right.
they took them out first, and then they went after the French and the Spanish, and it
Right.
took them pretty much 13 years to get their independence, and they weren't
Right.
colonized or anything until 200 years later. But I was so inspired by that because
Right.
it's really hard to get a group of black people to work together for
It is.
independence.
Oh yes, it's really hard. It's because it's always something. Somebody don't like somebody over something stupid. It's just like I don't understand. Like even if I don't particularly, if I don't really, and I don't really have any reason not to care for a person. But if you offer a service that I feel like I need, or you got a product that I need, even if I don't necessarily care for you as a person for whatever reason, I'm gonna still support you because I need that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but we don't. Everything in this city, I feel like with hair, with nails, with clothes, with anything, popularity wins every time. The person that's more popular can have the whacker of the products.
Yeah.
But because everybody knows this person, they're gonna support. You can have a person over here that nobody knows really like that does better work than the person everybody knows, but they don't have a name, so nobody's really gonna make this. I feel like with support, especially in this city, it's all about who's the most popular. And not to say popular people don't have produce good products, but there's a person that you may not know that has an even better product. You're not giving them a chance because they're not like one of the top rated people in the city that's known to have all the money and drive the nice car. And you know what I'm saying? That's just nuts to
And
me.
I feel like, and I feel like with me, I feel like I have the best show here, to me,
Right.
because it comes from
Right.
my heart. Because I
Right.
care about people. You know, a lot of
Right.
people started platforms to get attention, to get clout, to get this and get that. I never once hated on anybody. I never once
Right.
sneak this anybody on my platform or nothing like that, because that's
Right.
what they expect us to do. But
Right.
because I'm not known, because I'm not popular, because I don't have a million, like thousands of people that's jocking me and everything like
Right.
that. Like a lot of people didn't want to give me a chance, but then they started watching and then they started to
Right.
listen, and they be like, yeah, like, you know, I get what you mean. I get what you're doing, man. I respect what you're doing. Like, you really authentic, and we
Right.
need that around here because everybody ain't out here, you know, shooting people or selling drugs
Right.
or, you know, smoking weed and this and that. You know, there's a lot of intellectual black men out here. You know, it's just that
It
we get
is.
um look outlook. You know, not I ain't gonna say outlooked, but I say that
You get
yeah,
overlooked. You get
overlooked. Yeah, that's
overlooked.
what I was trying
Yep.
to say. But we get overlooked because of the fact that we're not the stereotypical people.
Right.
Yeah, because I can, you know what I'm saying, get with the best of them, but I have class. I do act like I have some sense, but also it's
Right.
just, you know, it's just about these kids. You know, these kids,
Right.
you know, we're the OGs now.
Right.
You know, like the ones we was looking up to, you know, they going to really expect us to carry the torch. And they the
Right.
next coming up. So if half of us that's in our 30s that's still going and meeting so we can fight in the snow or fight in the rain or fight
Right.
whatever, You know, they go like, damn, like if they're doomed, then we're doomed. I'm
Right.
not having that.
Right.
No.
You gotta you gotta be an example because they watching.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause nowadays, man. Oh, I want to ask you about this before you go. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so this OnlyFans thing,
Uh-huh.
um, it just getting ridiculous because everybody has one now. You know, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I don't judge anybody, but
Right.
I just feel like this. I feel like it's no longer a mystery. It's no longer a reward for a man to, you know, get the pleasure of seeing his girl or his admirer or this and that.
Right.
Because back in them days, like it was a street corner, it was in cars and this and that, hotel
Right.
rooms. But now it's like, you know, you can actually subscribe to somebody, you know, this amount of
Right.
money a month. But it's just really making women e- easy access now,
Right.
and they're not thinking about it being prostitution, you know. But how do you feel about that?
Well, honestly, I feel like what a lot of women these day and age, they don't really have anything else to offer besides that.
Hmm.
Like, I feel like you look at the music videos, you look at Instagram, you look at all these different platforms, you look at the models that are being, showed and shared. And I feel like that men have kind of made women feel like they have to look a certain way. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like you got to have a chest, you got to have a butt, you got to, you know what I'm saying? Like regular women sometimes are overlooked, even when they're good women, because they don't have all of the assets of some of these stupid bitches out here.
Yeah.
So when it comes to OnlyFans and stuff like that, I don't have anything against it. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I feel like different stuff for different folks, but I do just kind of feel like this day and age, sex sells. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of women have spent a lot of money on their bodies, and so they want to show it off. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, honestly, with me personally, it's not the type of I wouldn't go that way, but for a woman to go, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I guess I'm on the fence about it. You know what I'm saying? It's personally not for me. Like, it's not for me. I might joke around about it, like, damn, I can make $250,000 by, you know what I'm saying, sending people feet videos. Like I might want to, you know what I'm saying? But when it boils down to it, I just kind of feel like if you are the type of woman that wants to make an OnlyFans page and it does get out there that you have a page, you have to be ready to accept whatever criticism you get from people.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because some people are going to be like, oh, well, you're a hoe if you got a page or this and that. But me being a mom, though, having kids, I would have to think about how that would make my boys feel. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it's out there, So I got a kid. He's 11. I got an OnlyFans page. His friends mess around and, you know what I'm saying? Because the internet is open. Kids can go over there. And they mess around and see that I have one. And then now my son's embarrassed. Now my son's being made fun of. And he's upset because of a choice that I made. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like, and when you think about it that way, no. But I feel like I understand why some women do what they do. And we live in, if you got it, flaunt it, you know what I'm saying, type of environment, type of world. But you can't get upset when men come at you a certain way if you have one. Just like if you're a stripper and dudes inbox you want to sleep with you, you might not be the type of woman that don't just want to sleep with random people, but because you take your clothes off for money, people are going to approach you a certain way. You have an OnlyFans page, people are going to approach you a certain way. You might not be the same person outside of the videos and the pictures you are in person,
Hmm.
but people are still going to approach you in that way because that's what you get off, what you give off. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I feel like I'm more of like the girl next door type. You know what I'm saying? Like if you pay attention to the pictures and stuff I post on Facebook, I don't ever really post anything like super revealing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like I'm covered up in most of it's just pretty much most of my pictures are honestly to showcase my hair. Like I just like how you know what I'm saying, and the outfits that I like to pick up because I like to dress. But it's like I don't feel like I have to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? In order to get attention, I feel like I can get a bunch of likes off of pictures just off of, you know, from the neck up. But everybody can't do that. You know what I'm saying? But I also feel like it comes with class, it comes with confidence, it comes with, you know what I'm saying, the respect you have for yourself. And not to say that if a female get on here and got up and she's in a hat and she's half naked in an outfit, not to say that there's anything wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? If she got the body and she want to show that stuff to her, but it's just like, you know, it's kind of like different strokes for different folks. But I do feel like OnlyFans and different stuff like that, I feel like that it leaves nothing to the imagination. I feel like it doesn't really give men anything to watch. You know, like when you was younger and you would see like a pretty girl, and you'll be like, you would like her, but you would never like know what she looks like outside of her clothes because she was always dressed. Now this day, you don't really have to wonder what women look like outside of their clothes because you can sometimes go on the internet and find a completely new picture of them. So you don't have, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to wonder, you know what I'm saying? Because there's no mystery, you know, like sex, having a big ass, having a big chest, all that shit was glorified. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like people just go with what's in. OnlyFans is in. You know what I'm saying? Being half dressed is in. Like having a big ass and a big chest and wearing revealing clothes was in. So I feel like people just kind of go with the flow because that's what's popping right now. So, I mean, being a regular woman is kind of, you know, it's kind of hard for some. Like some people don't want to do that. Like I have conversations with people all the time. Like I want to get a butt implant. I'm a skinny girl. I'm gonna stay skinny. I don't, you know, but I don't knock anybody for wanting to do that because, like I said, men nowadays have kind of almost made women feel like you have to look a certain way in order to get a man. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have a fat ass. You gotta have this. You gotta have that. And it's like, okay, if you're one of those type of women that's looking for that, you're gonna go out and get whatever they, you know, expect for you to have in order to keep them. But it's just crazy, man. Like it's just nuts how. I mean, it's nuts. I never in a million years would have thought that. Oh, because from what I told, OnlyFans wasn't even supposed to be a pay. It was supposed to be something totally different. Yeah. And then it went a whole other way. Like it originally wasn't supposed to be a site where there's like soft porn and nudity. It was supposed to be something else. Yeah. For like bands or something, I thought I heard. Like it was supposed to be like a more of a music page. And that took a turn for the worse. So I mean, yeah. I get it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I don't really have anything negative to say. I don't really have anything positive to say. Like, I can understand if you can post naked pictures of yourself and have people pay $9.99 to subscribe, and you got 2,000 followers, you do the math. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money. Yeah. But is the money worth everything that comes with it, though? Because you might not be able to find a man that's actually going to take you seriously once he finds out you got OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? You might not be able to, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't get jobs sometimes because of the stuff that they, you know, stuff they post on the internet. So it's like, the money's good, but is it worth it? And that's all I'm saying. Before I would make a page, I would think to myself, is this going to be worth it in the end? Yeah, I'm going to get $30,000. Yeah. But after the money's gone, is it worth everything that came with it? For some people, the answer is yes. The money's worth it. So, what do you think? How do you feel about women that have OnlyFans? Like, could you see yourself in a relationship with a woman and you know she had an OnlyFans page? Could you see yourself dating a woman or dealing with a woman if she had a page? No. Okay. No. I knew he was gonna say that. No, I mean, dating and being in a relationship. Right. No. But if we just friends with benefits, yeah, but dating, no, because I'm old school. You know, because here's the thing, like a lot of women just think that us men, like we would just smash anything and anybody and this and that, or wife anybody and cuff anybody. But you know what though, a lot of men give that off though. A lot of men get off that, but see that's where it gets a little foggy. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll see women online and they'll be half dressed, they'll be naked, they'll have big asses and wear revealing clothes, and a man, the way a man reacts to that, and make you feel like this is what they want, this is what they want to pursue. They want a woman like this. But to actually hear a man say, "Okay, you bad. your ass cheeks hanging out. I can damn near see your nipples through your shirt. I want to sleep with you. I do.
Yeah.
But are you gonna be the woman I'm gonna take home to my mama? Hell
No.
no. But I feel like as women, we don't ever really hear men say that. It's just like, oh, I got a bad bitch. I want a bad bitch. I want to be a bad. It's like, okay, well, what about somebody that's not a bad? What about a regular woman? What about, I ain't gonna say bitch, but what about somebody that just go to work and come home? Like, you know, but the way that society is, it makes it seem like being a regular woman is not cool. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of fade to the back. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Well, me, it's like when you know what you want, you know, the superficial stuff
Right.
don't matter. Cause me, I like somebody who's a homebody. I like somebody who goes to work and come home. I like somebody who just will make me work for the box instead
Right.
of letting me, see it, prematurely and all this other stuff, because it's like, nah, like what do I gotta work for, or what do I gotta,
Right. If it's too easy, you don't want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you feel like if you can get it easy, anybody can get it easy. So why would you want to do that?
Absolutely. And then I don't like the attitudes and the entitlement, because a lot of girls just think because like they get money from dudes and this and that. Because when I be on Snapchat or Instagram sometimes, somebody DM me and they just like, oh, I'm selling pictures, videos for this amount. You know what I'm saying? Right. Are you willing to buy? Ballers only. I don't got time for these broke ass niggas and shit like that. And I'm like, you would have got stoned to death for this if this was the Bible. You would have got fucking
right
to death. But
right.
You calling me, bro? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing I have a problem with. It's just the entitlement. Because, like I said, I respect anybody who can make a paycheck or who can make a decent living without selling their soul. You selling your soul at the end of the day, because nobody should be for sale. I'm not for sale. Because I had a lot of opportunities. I had a lot of offers in my life. You know what I'm saying? I could have had a record deal at 20 years old.
Right.
No lie.
Right.
But I said no, because I wasn't feeling the dude, or I wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Because I follow my gut. But when you don't have that gift of integrity, it's gonna put you somewhere that you don't want to be. You're gonna regret it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I tell people, like, because when you lose something that money can't buy,
right,
you realize how important money is. But
you're right.
But yeah, I hate to cut this conversation short. Everything dying over here.
Yeah, me too. We had a good talk though.
Yeah, we did. We got to do this again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah, just talk about. We're gonna have to come up with a list of topics we want to talk about, and then just go for it. Cause I was actually joking around with my friends. We always have like discussions about like relationship stuff from a man's point of view and a woman's point of view, and they get pretty intense. And I'm like, this should be recorded. Like the stuff that we go back and forth about, it's just amazing. Like how women think about stuff, how men think about stuff. Like I definitely have to do it again. Definitely.
Yeah, no problem. Just let me know. I ain't hard to find.
Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming.
All right. You have a good night.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.